beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G, got what you need. Vitamin G, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Discussing that heat in the street, hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G, got what you need. Vitamin G, got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Hey. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beast, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G, got what you need. Vitamin G, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Hey, final round. I already know how I'm coming, man. Yeah. Tryna run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we talk all of that. from an ounce to a pound. Take it, they biting this now, cause my drip right out the seat. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds, cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now, mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for clout. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock glitz, know they little half freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them dogs on the duty. On the stick, see I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. Then reload the clip and record the clip. It's go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tune into that VGP.
Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dante Crisis, back with your weekly dose of your vitamin G. And here I am with the boys, with the seven of the group. So first of all, I'd like to introduce the A train of the group, Zero. How are you today, my man?
It feels racist, but I'm fine.
No matter who I picked, like 90% of this podcast, 80% of this podcast is black. No matter who I picked.
But I am doing well, man. I am in the world of Sifu. Unfortunately, I have failed. I had set a personal goal for myself to get that under 25 trophy by the next time I came on this podcast. I did not. I just got to beat the last boss properly. I've beaten the game. I just got to do the last boss under 25 and then I can get it. I'm at 20 on all but the 4th level, and that's simple. Oddly enough, the women in the game are the easiest people to fight. But otherwise, it's pretty much been all Sifu all the time.
Alright, fair cool. I'm glad you're enjoying Sifu. Next is the Black Noir of the group. Pharaoh, what have you been up to, my guy?
Okay, cool.
What?
Nothing much. Not much gaming this week. Trying to think of what I've been playing this week. I didn't get to touch Spider-Man or Scarlet Nexus, which was not my intent. Got a little bit of Madden in. I think that's it. I didn't really play much games with the kids. I think I played a little bit of Avengers. Why
would you do that to yourself?
Yeah. The story's not that bad.
Why would you do that to yourself? Alright. Unfortunately, it's only us four right now because Jubei is Jubei is Jubei, and Kofi is out sick. So we cannot throw any shade his way. But everybody pray that Jubei eventually fucking shows up. And next onto the deep of the group, Omar, what have you been up to?
Sup, man? Sifu. And shout out to FT for, I think, beating the game. he is now level 20 or something like that. Unlike him and Zero, I'm still stuck at level 2. What I've been trying to do is, I'm trying to grind level 1 so I beat the boss at level 20. But level 2, is rough. But other than that, yeah, can't wait for Forbidden West, and that's about it.
Alright, cool. And then there is me. I'm not a part of the 7 because I'm not that messed up. So I'm not even going to dignify myself by saying that. Because okay. Okay, I am the starlight then. I am the starlight of the group because I am the most innocent, the most pure, the most wholesome.
I was gonna give you the nice Maeve. What is her
Queen
superhero
Maeve.
name?
No, Queen Maeve.
Queen Maeve. Okay,
that's her name.
Yeah, I'd give.
Problem is, I don't got tits. But then again, I just did turn around and say I'm starlight. But you know, whatever. He's better than being fucking Homelander. That's for damn fucking sure. That's for absolute goddamn sure. I'm not that psychotic yet. But yeah, what have I been up to? Finished Devil May Cry 4. That was a lot of fun. I ended up with higher scores than I thought. Mainly B's, lots of A's, a couple of S's, and I think 1 D. But the D ranking ended up happening where I expected it to happen, which was against Credo. Fuck, I hate that. Who else is there? I don't know why Amadeus has a wrench. Who the fuck gave Amadeus a wrench? Someone take that away from Amadeus. I'd dare someone give him a wrench. Aside from that, played some Cold War Zombies today. Attempted to. I was bollocks tired for some reason. The Medium, which has been interesting. Crusader Kings 3 is fuck me. It's hilarious that I ended up finding a mod that allows vampires and werewolves in that game. Aside from that, no. I mean that's it. I mean my week's been relatively busy with other things, unfortunately. Goddamn. Anyway, could someone go and yell at Jubei? Could one of you guys just go and yell into the void? Hopefully Jubei is out there in that void, and tell him to hurry his ass up.
I say we're just like, Jubei is trash at fighting games.
Jubei is trash! But in fact, to be fair, if we say his name in a mirror 3 times, he might appear. like Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls. But yeah, Jubei trash at fighting games. He awful, man. I mean, like he wouldn't even reach the preliminaries. He'd be eliminated in the negative first round.
I say prelims. He's not even leaving like the local tournaments. Like he's not even getting to the regional.
He ain't even leaving his couch. He isn't even leaving his couch. Like that's how trash Jubei is. He ain't even leaving his couch.
Couldn't be me.
I left him a very nice message on. He
ratted us out. I know what Omar did. He ratted us out because I ratted him out last week.
I didn't do it on purpose. I just thought it's okay to do so because it's on air.
See, he just fucking did it. You trashed a fighting game and said 0-1 Dante. You spelt my name wrong. Why does everybody miss the fucking E and hit the W?
No, I was even in here. Jubei is trash at fighting games. I'm gonna add my name as well. I don't mind.
God damn it. Alright, but let's move on to the first topic, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, give me a minute. Let me see if I can get this announcement thing up because yeah, there it is. It's a countdown. Where is this countdown hosted? Is it on their official? It's on their official website. Is it? Why that just linked me to the fucking? Why did that link me to the Street Fighter fucking YouTube channel? What the pissing hell? All right. Well, first of all, we're gonna be talking about the countdown, the Capcom Countdown. which I'm going to get on our screens right now. Yep, here it is. One moment, let me bring it up for everybody to enjoy. Yes, we are looking at 6 days and 4 hours before Capcom's announcement. Now, what the fuck could this announcement be?
NFT.
NFTs.
I had to.
Fucking
No,
yeah.
I actually seen NFT Dino Crisis.
You know what? Okay, so I'll go first because this is basically just fucking speculation at this point. Anyway.
Yeah.
My friend Joster, my viewer and friend Joster came into the chat. He's talking about it, and he was saying he thinks it's a Resident Evil thing. I don't think it's Resident Evil. It's way too soon. In my opinion, it's way too soon for a Resident Evil announcement.
I also think
Maybe Pragmata?
What was that,
Is that
Zero?
them?
Maybe
I think-
Pragmata.
Oh, for fuck's sake,
Zero.
shut up and let Zero talk. What was that, Zero?
I think the Countdown is too big for like a DLC of Resident Evil.
Yeah, and I think this is even too pompous for say that rumored / confirmed Resident Evil 4 remake coming out. This is way too pompous.
Lady D expansion pack.
No, that's something you drop easy. I think maybe information.
I don't know.
Maybe
she drove the
information
internet
about-
crazy for
No,
months
he's
and
talking
months
about
and
Resident
months.
Evil 4. She still drives the fucking internet crazy.
Yeah,
Even the voice actress.
Maybe
A Lady D like whole section of the game where it's just her. You know,
Now
I
you
would
talk-
drive
now
that's
you
that.
talking,
something.
Pharaoh.
That's something you drop though. You don't hype it up like that.
Same
I,
with
don't-
Resident
I think
Evil
you
4.
could get away with hyping Lady D up. I think you
Oh
could get
my
away
God.
with it.
They would have put a small hint like.
I mean, like this is like what's like a movie where like a person had like a 5-minute cameo and just the hype of that person in the cameo like was like more important than the
Any
whole game.
Avengers game.
I can give you a
Marvel
movie.
game.
Hold on, Sean Connery in the end of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He was in it for like 5 fucking minutes, and yet he's such a big fucking
Yeah, so
talking
like
point.
that's like kind of what Lady D kind of became. So I mean, like it's kind of one of the things where like, you know, she's bigger than like no one talks about Resident Evil 8, but people still talk about Lady D. Like, it's
And
like, she's
it dropped
bigger than
today,
the
right?
game.
Like the Countdown came today.
No, the countdown came yesterday, I believe.
Oh, it
I
came
think
yesterday.
today. I've seen it today, but maybe yesterday.
If it came
my
today, that's
thing-
on Valentine's Day. Everyone's favorite girl that they love, Lady D.
Maybe it's a Pragmata thing. At least that's what I am hoping for it to be.
That would be, yeah, you know what, that would be, but, okay, so here's the problem. Here's the problem with it being a Pragmata thing. They've already announced the game. They don't need to hype it up anymore. By the way, just so everybody, just for everybody's entertainment and enjoyment, please enjoy this mod for the PC community. Please enjoy it, you fucking weirdos. But no, Pragmata has already been announced. You don't need to like do all this pomp and circumstance for Pragmata. You don't.
What's the actual? Okay. That's a top of nightmare, dude.
Yeah, that's why I want to show it. Because maybe it'll put all y'all motherfuckers to rest with this first shit. How fucking weird. You know, even the voice actress turned around and said, y'all into some weird shit. No, I legit think they're trying to hype something up. So for me, it would not surprise me if this is a Dino Crisis remake. If they're finally announcing the Dino Crisis remake. Because
Is there a rumor for it though?
no,
Existing?
there's no rumor for a Dino Crisis remake. There's a want for it, but no rumors of it. It's not like Resident Evil 4 where there was rumors of it and then it got confirmed. Well,
Can
yeah.
I point out my fan theory?
Shoot, go
Yeah,
on.
go ahead.
My fan theory is that it's not about a game at all. It is about
NFT.
It's about a movie, and it's a Resident Evil movie, but
Okay.
also a Monster Hunter movie, but also a Dino Crisis movie.
We just
All three
had
of the main characters are played by the same person, i.e., what is her name? Mila Jovovich? That's not her.
Yeah, that is. It's Mila
you're
Jovovich.
talking about her.
So
my God.
every character is a CG Mila Jovovich.
Well, only the three main characters. So Alice, whatever the chick from Monster Hunter was, and Regina from Dino Crisis, and like they never explicitly stated that. Like everybody plays it straight up, super serious. Nobody's like, "Wow, he's weird. You look like me." It's just like you don't know which one is which until like, "Oh, it's a dinosaur here. That must be Regina." Or she pulls out dual blades. That must be the girl from. That's my personal fan theory.
Okay.
Like this movie can be made.
So you're being very weird. By the way, here's a video of Lady D modded into every single fucking game possible. Again, y'all some weird motherfuckers. Again, y'all some weird ass sons of bitches. Seriously, even the voice actors.
You're the PCMR, so you are y'all.
But I don't care about Lady D.
That's true.
I've even turned around and said, Justin knows this for a fucking fact. When I killed that bitch in Resident Evil 7, or Resident Evil 8, my immediate response was, if you listen very carefully, you can hear the screams of 1,000 simps cry out in anguish before suddenly being silenced.
They need to have her fighting the Big Show.
Yeah, sir. I play on Nintendo. I don't know anything about mods on my end of the world. So.
Oh yeah, you do actually. There are mods for PC. There are mods for N64.
On the what? On the PC?
No, on N64.
So N64 is an old, dated system. We're past that now.
Well, no,
I
you'd be fucking surprised.
Nintendo Switch. If I subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online Plus.
Wait, yes, and that's why I have no respect for you.
That's weird.
Nintendo Switch Online Plus. Come, like, did Disney add the plus and everyone just like steal it? Like, it doesn't work for everything. I'm sorry. Like, come up with your own name. Like,
oh, for fuck's sake, Sonic Generations. What the fuck? What the fuck am I looking at? Anyway, but no, like, I feel like. And this just broke Omar's mind. He's quite.
Not gonna lie, it's adorable though.
He's thinking, what the fuck am I looking at?
I have no idea, but it's funny. I actually thought maybe this is different than you get. That's fucking hilarious.
I told you Lady D is bigger than you think, man.
Yeah, she is. She's about 8 foot fucking tall.
Dude, I never knew about this until you just showed me. Like, I live in my own bubble like that.
It could be that. It literally has a cult following.
Which boggles my mind how Capcom didn't pull an audible and created a bigger role for her.
Because that's all by design. No, that's all by design. They knew their fan base were a bunch of fucking freaks, and knew if they just show Lady D, that would hype the fucking game. That's all.
This is the same situation that Ubisoft did with Far Cry 3. Like when you have
that is different. Actually, that is actually different. That's different.
Why?
Because Vass wasn't actually a character. The actor who tried out did so goddamn well. They created Vass just for him.
Wait, what?
Yes.
But they revealed the game with him.
But that was after they'd done everything. When he first this was already after the game was done. But I'm talking about when they were in the preliminaries for creating Far Cry 3. To my understanding, the original thing was that Vass wasn't actually a character. It's just the voice actor / actor who played Vass did so damn well, and they were impressed with him so much they created Vass for him to play.
Wow, I never knew that, and that bonkers. Cause I would have preferred if he was the final boss, cause he was amazing at his voice acting.
Oh yeah, you should see the videos of him. I'm
watching now, Crash. Well,
no. You should see the videos of that actor playing Vass in real life. It's
oh yeah, I've seen it. But yeah, anyway, he is amazing.
So
continue.
My point is, they are creating all this pomp and circumstance for a game they want to hype up, that they feel needs hyped up. Like, they want all eyes on the game. That's why I don't think it's Pragmata, because everybody knows about Pragmata. I don't think it's Resident Evil 4, because Resident Evil 4, you could drop a trailer and guarantee 2 million views in like 5 hours or less. It's not a DLC, because you don't throw pomp and circumstance for just DLC on that kind of like this. So
can they fuck up?
Unless it's Monster Hunter. If it's a Monster Hunter expansion pack.
No, because they've already set the precedent. Because Iceborne didn't get this kind of hype.
And there's already one.
Iceborne sold already. Iceborne sold better than they ever thought. Though.
Exactly. That's why it doesn't need hype.
Well, I mean, either way, Rise has a one coming. It's like it's Sunbreak or something, whatever. Like, so that one's actually we already know that's on the way. I would be shocked if they did it for that one, but
exactly. So like, there's no need. This hype is for something they feel needs it, which is why I'm feeling like a Dino Crisis remake, because it's almost like...
But a Dino Crisis remake, would it not just be hype by itself?
No.
Would it not just be a bombshell by itself?
No
hype needed?
I love Dino Crisis. I love Dino Crisis. I really do. But even I will admit it's not as big as Resident Evil, and it has support. I'd say enough support behind it to warrant a remake, but not enough like what was behind Resident Evil 2 or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
That would be interesting, a Dino Crisis remake, if they showed it on their own stage, because that would like indicate that like a platform holder was not like gunning for those like marketing rights or some type of exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
very interesting.
Because here's the other thing.
I would think.
Sorry.
I would think it would be. I would think it would be like something that you would see at a State of Play or an E3 event for like Xbox or something.
Nah, Capcom need Capcom. If anything, right now for me, the reason why them doing all of this for a Dino Crisis remake would make sense. They need another franchise. Like,
but they're already working on Pragmata.
No, what they need. Okay, so let's actually look at the franchises. Like, I'm talking franchises like Jesus Christ. I'm seeing Lady D being murdered in The Sims. What the fuck?
But they have DMC5. They have DMC. They have Resident Evil. They have Monster Hunter. How many franchises do they need in general?
They need all the franchises. That's the thing. Like, Capcom need... Like, back in the day, Capcom had all the franchises. Like, you need to remember, back in the heyday of them, they had, like, fucking 6 franchises going on at once.
I was saying, like, and DMC...
Hey, speaking of which, the smoke... Hey! Look who blew through with the smoke.
I
was in here talking.
You know what I would like to see Capcom bring back? I'm pretty sure it's a Capcom game. If I'm wrong, shoot me. Just take me to the wizard and shoot me. I'd like to see Onimusha come back.
Onimusha,
isn't that a Capcom?
That's Capcom.
That is Capcom.
Yeah,
it is.
I would love to see Onimusha come back.
That would be cool. But like I said, it feels like with the success that Capcom have had, because they're batting. If they're not batting 1,000, they're batting 999 right now. Like, it would make sense for Capcom to try and revive an older franchise like Dino Crisis, build it up, and make it stand its own. Because, like, the thing is, there's a couple of things that need to be remembered about Dino Crisis. One, when it came out, it got unfortunately stigmatized by it being compared by Resident Evil all the goddamn time. Which... It's a survival horror game, but honestly, it's a lot more survival horror than the original Resident Evil. Because the dinosaurs in that game do not go down easy. Like, they really don't. They are bullet fucking sponges, and they are vicious. Like, the best way I can describe it with Dino Crisis, imagine every enemy is a fucking hunter, and you've pretty much got the original Dino Crisis. And it didn't sell necessarily well. The second game was very good, but it was a very different style. And you gotta remember, like, this series has been dead since the PlayStation 2 because of how bad the third game was, which is why I believe, like, this is why I believe, like, they want all this hype and to build up the reveal of a Dino Crisis remake so they can impact with that new old franchise that they can start like
But
milking, basically.
But would you not put this in? One, is it not a cult following right now, Dino Crisis in general?
But that's why I'm saying they need to hype it. That's why I'm saying it makes sense to hype it.
But it would have made sense to just put a logo then.
No,
No,
because again, you just turned around and said it's a cult following. That's like turning around and announcing a remake of Killer 7. Or a remake of fucking, oh god, I'm trying to think of another fucking game that's a cult game. Or Shadows of the Damned, or just think any cult game you can think of, and it's pretty much the same thing. Like you need to build the hype for it, because in the end, it's a cult game for a reason, because it didn't do well. And gained a good following afterwards, just not enough to sustain it as a franchise.
are they not playing with fire in this way? If it's not a Dino Crisis, if it's something like an NFT or a DLC, that's literally gonna be extra as their faces then.
Yeah, this is if it's anything less than the revival of an old franchise or a new game. And if it's an NFT or a DLC, this is going to backfire majorly in my opinion. What do you think?
It probably won't be an NFT. Although obviously the most, I guess, obvious answer is Street Fighter 6.
Yes, that would be my only other thing. That like, now, if you want a game that needs pomp and circumstance, I would turn around and say a new Street Fighter game would need this. Because especially after like the poor reception of Street Fighter 5,
and apparently the tournament Pro Tour ends the same time as the Countdown, so it lends more credit. And it's been about 6 years since the last one, and I think it was 8 years between 4 and 5.
Wasn't 8 years between 4 and 5, because 4 had like 2 revisions, Street Fighter 4 and Ultra Street Fighter 4.
No, but from 4.
I'll double check.
Was 2000. I was in college.
Give me a minute. I'll research.
I was too.
Yeah.
I absolutely was too.
So we're not talking revisions. We're just talking original releases.
Yeah, just from.
Right,
I don't. 2008.
2008 and
then 5 was 2016, right?
2016. Damn it, that is 8 years.
Yeah, and I was hot.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. When will it? Okay, but if we do include revisions, it's actually less. If you actually add revisions, it's
closer to like 5 or 6 years.
No, it's 2 years. It's 2 fucking years.
Whoa.
So
what? Ultra came out in 2014.
Yeah. That's why I'm turning around and saying you need to take revisions into account.
I definitely have to agree though. It's got to be something we haven't seen before.
Maybe a DMT6?
No, way too soon.
DMT6? Way too soon. When did 5 come out?
5 came out like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
I love Devil May Cry, for fuck's sake. I can comfortably put it in my top 3 favorite franchises of all time. It's had like one bad game. Like one game I can turn around and say is an absolute fucking stinker. Right? Yeah, 2. Fuck 2. Fuck 2. Seriously.
I mean, it could be anything. I mean, it could even be like a final fight or something. It could be another Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Like there's so many things.
There's so many. Like I'm just for me, I'm just trying to narrow it down to what warrants all of this pomp and circumstance. You know what I mean?
What about the Resident Evil 4 remake?
No, that doesn't need it, right? So Street Fighter, I feel, needs it because that's been a long because Street Fighter is about the pomp and circumstance, because it's one of the biggest games in the FGC. So you need that pomp and circumstance. With a Resident Evil 4 remake, in my opinion, you don't need that, because everybody's already hyped for it for some reason. Everybody's already clamoring for it for some fucking reason, and just its name recognition alone is going to sell it. Like I said, put that video up on YouTube, drop it on YouTube, guarantee 2 million views in 5 hours. Like you don't need that. You just need the hype machine of the internet to just push it forward.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's weird. I'm trying not to set myself up for disappointment, but I feel like I'm gonna be disappointed.
Someone somewhere is going to be disappointed. Someone somewhere is gonna feel like someone just shot their dog.
Well, no, see, because we're coming up with logical reasons as to what it couldn't be, but they just don't have to abide by that logic, and then it can be something as silly. I mean, Omar could be right. It could legitimately be an NFT, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, why did you put a countdown for this? Why would you do it for the Resident Evil 4 remake? Why? And part of it is that, like, because we're talking about it, you're not wrong there. It was like, man, what a waste of what a waste of hype.
Yeah.
They're playing with fire. They're basically playing with fire with this one.
See, here's the thing. It's not playing with fire.
Let me explain why. If people are not, so here's the thing. People are gonna have different expectation now, and when it's something that they don't want and it's not big enough, they're gonna revolt around it.
Okay.
Like if it's an NFT or even a Monster Hunter DLC, I don't think people are gonna be like, okay, that's nice. So people are gonna see like, why the fuck did you hype it up for 6 days?
I'm gonna go over categorically why you're wrong. Because the difference between an NFT and a Monster Hunter DLC is there's actually value in a Monster Hunter DLC. There's something tangible you could get time and energy and fun out of. Where if it's an NFT, which categorically, seemingly, the whole goddamn gaming community is against, then then that's playing with fire. And I'm not talking normal fire, I'm talking nuclear fucking fire. Okay? But if it's a DLC, people will be disappointed. They'll be like, oh, all that hype for nothing. But it will be forgotten in like 24 hours. But if it's an NFT, they are going to be dragged over hot coals with thumbtacks. Like, no one is going to let Capcom, no matter how good they've been recently, no one is going to let them forget that. Nobody. Stocks will drop with how much of a shitstorm will be caused over that.
Because no one listens to the powers that be need to listen to VGP and what Pharaoh said.
I agree. Listen up, powers.
No, because if they did that, then fucking NFTs would be pushed even fucking harder, and all options would be taken away. That's why.
Add some value to my digital collector's edition. Don't have me buy digital deluxe and digital collector's editions, and it's just not really.
Ain't my fault you buy that crap.
I mean, I mean, this is the most pipe dream of. There's probably a higher pipe dream than my all Resident Evil Alice situation, but. It sure be nice. Both companies are doing pretty great right now. Sure be nice to see a revival of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Okay, so I don't. Jubei might agree with me with this. He might disagree with me. There's really no need for Marvel vs. Capcom right now. We already have a game filling that spot very comfortably and did it better than Marvel vs. Capcom did, and that's called Street Fighter, and that's called Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Didn't the last Marvel vs. Capcom not do well?
Yeah, Infinite trash.
Infinite, it was absolute floppity flop.
No, the worst part about it is the Infinite storyline is good. Like I've seen the Infinite storyline. Like if we're talking straight gameplay, the game's trash. It's really fucking annoying, and it had severe balancing issues when it came to the Infinity Stones. Like, if you watch tournaments, you will see like one stone or one or two stones being used. You will not see anybody use any of the other stones. I think it was either the Time Stone and the Space Stone, I think, were the only ones ever being used. Outside of that, Power Stone, Soul Stone, none of them were being fucking used. There was severe balancing issues, because I think the Space Stone was incredibly broken, because the Space Stone basically created walls that if your opponent touched them, they would get like severely fucked up. It's a distance closer. I think it works similar to how I think it's Urian from Third Strike does it, where you can create a barrier at a certain distance, and you can juggle an opponent off the wall because it electrocutes them, shocks them, sends them in the air, and you can juggle them off of it. I think it's Urian that can do that.
Yeah, it's him.
That's Urian. Yeah.
Maybe I reboot them.
Reboot.
I doubt it.
What about Darkstalkers?
The reason I doubt it, I was gonna say because the Disney license is so expensive.
Yes.
You have to have you have to have a projection that game is gonna sell a certain amount of numbers to even make it work.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that the Disney thing is what messed them up with Infinite, because they sort of started dictating what characters could and couldn't be used, and like, all right, well, we got these movies coming out, so we got to put them in here, and it's like no one.
Yep.
Like, it's cool to have certain characters, but like what made 2 so much fun is like they pulling out Spiral, and like who was Spiral?
In fairness, Marvel Capcom, you could even put Marvel vs. Capcom 3 up there, because Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had a fucking deep roster.
Yeah.
I just wanted fucking Cyclops. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, they got rid of Cyclops because they can't use the mutants.
Yes, they can't. No, that's incredible. Right, because let me just quickly give you the Marvel roster. You had Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Hawkeye, Rocket Raccoon, Ultron, Black Widow, Dormammu, Hulk, Spider-Man, Venom, which was the only surprise for me, Captain America, Gamora, Iron Man, Thanos, Winter Soldier, Thor, Nova, Ghost Rider, who was the only other surprise for me, and Captain Marvel. Now, if I was to compare that to the Marvel roster from Marvel vs. Capcom 3, no, just 3. You know, I could throw 3 and it blows it out of the water. As far as
Super Skrull alone is better. Like,
I mean, fuck's sake, let me throw you the Capcom roster as well in this, because it will show you how fucking different the roster is. Because in 3 you had Akuma, you had Wesker, you had Emitasu, the
Amaterasu, yeah,
Amaterasu,
yeah, Firebrand,
Crimson Viper, Deadpool, Doctor Doom. You had in 3 as well. Felicia, Hansiko, Jill Valentine, Magneto was even in 3 because they actually had the mutant stuff. MODOK, Morgan was in there. Nathan Spencer was fucking in that one. Phoenix, Sentinel. What?
Still no Cyclops in 3.
Because no one likes Cyclops.
Still mad about Cyclops.
Because no one likes Cyclops. No one likes Cyclops. Fuck Cyclops.
Oh my god. That's old op-ass.
But yeah, Storm was in 3, Taskmaster, Virtual fucking Joe was in 3 as well, X-23. Like, they did, even back then, even with 3, which came out a couple of years before, which came out years before, that came out in 2011, they clearly were able to use the mutant license. But by Infinite, they weren't.
That was like the Marvel universe had not become what it had become at the time, even though Iron Man did come out like a couple years earlier and was hitting, but like it wasn't. I don't think Avengers was out yet, or did it just come out?
The first Avengers film I don't think came out yet.
Yeah, I think because Avengers was 2012, so yeah, they weren't the dominant force in movie making at the time. They were real close, and then they got those checks and they changed up.
So is it finally right for me to say Disney killed another franchise? They did it first with how they.
I can't turn around and say that.
Kingdom Hearts.
I can't.
Disney's not killing any franchises. Disney has certain costs for their license.
If you're handcuffing
your cost effective.
No, Omar, because Jubei will back me up for this. It isn't a lack of roster that killed Marvel. We lost connection. Give me a sec.
And we lost connection. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, give me a sec. Fuck off! My God, this is actually starting to get beyond a fucking joke.
Wait, we did?
Yeah, give me a minute.
We did.
Yeah, give me a sec.
We did.
Give it a sec. We'll be back in 2 seconds. We'll be back. Okay. No, we'll be back in 2 seconds. It's just catching up. You're on delay, dude. That's why you're not seeing it. Okay, right. Yeah, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Had a momentary lapse of Steam deciding to download some dumb shit. Anyway.
We're back.
What was I
saying? You
can
continue.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, my point is, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite's problems, what killed that game was not the small roster. It didn't help, but the small roster didn't kill it. It was the gameplay that killed it. That is something that's something that Disney could not handcuff. That's all Capcom.
Yeah, moving to 2v2 was stupid.
Not just that,
absolutely stupid.
The Stones was fucking stupid.
Yeah, the Stone. It was like a combination of things. But my main thing is like this shit's been 3v3 for like a hot minute. Oh yeah, we're just gonna magically make it 2v2. Like, it changes the dynamic of the game. Like it completely does.
And at this point, if they want, and I'm not gonna lie. If and we're gonna have to move off this topic after this point. If Capcom really did want to, at this point, they don't need Marvel. They could need Marvel. They could just create a Capcom Fighters.
Yep.
Or Capcom.
I want to, give me another Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Like they have
not
shit.
Even that. Not even that.
Not Marvel.
They don't even need that, Jube. You could just turn around and say, we're going to create a Marvel versus Capcom game, but no Marvel characters. It's just going to be Capcom characters. They could totally pull it.
Then call it Capcom All Stars.
Yeah, Capcom. That is.
I just want Mega Man Legends back.
Yeah, the only one.
Or you could call it Capcom Legends. Like you could do that.
Yeah, shit Capcom Legends.
Yeah. I like that name. Capcom versus Capcom.
Capcom versus Capcom.
TVC.
Like seriously, you could like if we just look at the Capcom franchises, like Capcom games. If we just look at the games, like you could pull characters from the Street Fighter universe. You could pull them out of the Monster Hunter universe, the Devil May Cry universe. You could revive old games like Dead Right. You could revive some characters from Okami, Dragon Dogma, Final Fight, Dead Rising. Like they have such a fucking catalog of games. They could arguably do they could legitimately make their own Smash Brothers, but
maybe
in the style of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Maybe a New Rising.
I wouldn't mind seeing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Mega Man Legends or even Mega Man Battle Network characters too. Like that's some pretty interesting.
Exactly. Like I said, like they could fucking do it. And if anything, I think they should. They should because they've got one fighting game that is coming out. They've got Street Fighter. That's all they have right now. When back in the day they had like 3 different fighting game franchises going on at once. Mm-hmm. Like, if they wanted to, they could invest and say, okay, we're going to do this every 3 years. We're going to have a 3-year thing. In 3 years, you're going to get a Capcom fighting game. And then another 3 years, we're going to get a Street Fighter game. So they've basically got a 6-year cycle. Each fighting game has a 6-year cycle. That would make sense to me. Like, yes, annualize it, but give it time to breathe. Anyway, moving off of our speculation.
Before they made a fucking trading card game like Street Fighter X All Capcom, which was like a fuck ton. Like like Darkstalkers. Like you had like a fuck. Like, they have so much to pull off of that they just.
Did they make that, Pharaoh?
Yeah, they made Battle Arena to Shinden. Bring that shit back. That shit was amazing. Yeah, y'all don't know about that. Y'all too young.
Hell, fuck it. I mean, you know what? The best thing is, if Capcom wants to do a game like that with their own characters, who says it just needs to be limited? They could get guest stars. I mean, remember, they've done a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game before. They could turn around and say special guest, fucking Joestar. It's like
no, special guest Jolene. That would break the internet. That would break the internet because she is now the new hot big thing.
This is true.
Yeah, I mean, we could speculate all day on what it is.
Yeah.
But, hold on. I want to go down the list. What do we want it to be? What do we want this Capcom announcement to be? What do we want? Jube, what do you want it to be?
A fighter. I don't care what it is. Just fighter. Give me a fighter.
Omar, what do you want it to be?
Okami 2, please.
Never gonna happen.
I know, that's why I said Okami 2.
It shouldn't even happen. It's a good isolated game. Farrell, what do you want it to be?
Revive Mega Man.
Okay. Zero, what do you want it to be?
Onimusha.
And I want it to be Dino Crisis Remake. You gave Resident Evil it, give it to the fucking Dino Crisis fans, for fuck's sake.
Honorable mention: rival schools. Let me get that too.
Oh,
Yes!
Power Stone.
Yes, I take that.
Alright, now moving on to topic number 2. Martha is censored. Okay, so... okay, so who here knows the full scope of this? Because I heard about this. Okay, if I've got to hear Omar's voice,
I can break it down.
Go ahead, break it down, Omar.
Okay, so the developer came out and said that PlayStation is censoring Masa is dead, and basically the censorship so far from what I've read is one where you literally cut a fetus out of a pregnant woman. Second one is you cut the face of your sister baby. It's a grown-up baby, but still, and you wear it as a face mask. And this is all mini games you need to play. And the third one is where you help a person slit his or her own wrist. So basically so far I know these are the mini games that are censored in the game.
Just a quick point of clarification, and just it might be a language thing. It's not because I saw this, and it's important just to make it clear. It is the main character's baby sister, but the way it's phrased makes it assume that the sister, it's a baby or someone young.
No. I said it's a grown adult.
It's her sister. She's cutting off the face of her sister. Like, I don't know why.
Sister, not baby sister.
Yeah, younger sister is the proper word.
Yes, younger sister.
Yeah. But that was all. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Oh, so Zero, actually, considering you're talking, what are your thoughts on this?
I have always been of the mind that if it's my house, you gotta play by my rules. Personally, I don't particularly find the scenes that offensive or messed up. At least no more so than like a no Russian level sort of type of thing where like you're forced to gun down innocents.
Yeah, you're not forced to. Okay, like that is a misconception. You are not forced to. Like the police you are, but the actual civilians inside you are not forced to shoot them.
Or maybe more like led to. Because like if you're just sort of running through, the idea is like, oh, I do this because it's just how you play a game. But you're right. You can move past this without actually doing any of that stuff. I am not, I understand certain levels of violence just escalates differently for people on different levels. I will admit, me personally, my line in the sand is always when it comes to like sexual violence.
Okay, right. In the risk of getting demonetized, what monetization? I am going to show the scene in question when I find it. My apologies. Go ahead, continue.
I
can find it for you.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
It's super terrible. Like, it's off-putting, but like, one, because the character in it is dead, so it's like there's no active pain being inflicted on someone. It doesn't hit for me. When I saw it, I was like, is this it? But I do understand, being an active participant in something like that, I can understand why people would feel a certain way about it.
We also need context.
Can I add?
Right,
this is also true too.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I add something to it? Basically, a friend of mine broke it down. His name on Sumo in Twitter. Basically, what he said is, according to the information he has read, the digital version is not being changed whatsoever. So this quote unquote censorship could easily be, instead of removing the actual scenes, it's just removing the button prompts. So you're simply not doing the deed. You're just watching. It's become a cutscene, indeed. We don't. Yeah.
I think it would be unfortunately, like, now that we know this, is sort of impossible to tell. But it would be very interesting if, like, you could see sort of two different worlds set up and how people reacted to you being a participant of it and how people reacted to just seeing it happen.
It seems like it was a dream, that particular scene. from the context of this demo, it seems like it might have been a scene. There might be more afterwards.
Yeah, like I get it. It's sort of messed up. But I've never fallen in the line of like the quote unquote censorship issue. Like I've always felt you can do whatever you want. You just don't have to do it with me. And if you don't like that, you can walk away. So my thought process is this company could have said, Sony, do not censor us or we'll walk away. And they have that option.
I don't think they do have that option. I think Sony bought certain rights to this game. Yeah. Like the collector's edition of the game is only for PlayStation. So
I think
or Xbox. I think Sony paid for certain rights to that game.
I think we need to step away. We need to step away from. No offense, Zero. I love you, but I think we need to step away from the whole thing of developers could easily walk away, because I'm sorry, but developers can't easily just walk away from signed contracts. They can't. No,
if it's a contract you're stuck in, that's fine.
Like, but you already signed. Here's the thing: you already signed a contract with a developer, right? This game might be multi-plat, but you've got to sign a contract with Microsoft, with Sony, and anybody else, so you can release on their platform. You have to sign a contract regardless.
Very true, but therein lies part of the question is when I'm using a home, you're walking into their home. They get to set the rules. You don't have to like that. And unfortunately, if you really want to push on console, you might have to lose something to gain something else.
Now, here's my problem with that statement. This issue seems to have come after they signed the contracts. Like Sony only saw all of this after the contract was signed and then made the dictation they need to change it.
It's very true, but I think that is always the risk of dealing with these companies. Like from one company to the other, they're going to do whatever they can to make sure the contract is best as in whoever's favor. Sony is going to do for them. What's the name of the game again? Martha's Dead developers are going to do what's best for them. It does not seem as though that the Martha's Dead developers seem to be too upset about this. They're someone is coming out and just letting people know, here's what happened, which I do think is a smart move on whoever's part this is, because it would be a lot of hell to pay if people started playing the game and then found out it was censored on PlayStation and not on Xbox or PC or anywhere else.
It's also smart because it shifts the blame right over to fucking PlayStation and leaves them
squeaky clean. It does, yes. It leaves PlayStation holding the bag, which like they can eat, and the Martha's Dead devs do well. Sony just eats it and moves. Like Horizon is about to drop, so people will forget about this almost immediately. So like that's perfectly fine.
I mean that's two different audiences. Like this is more the horror audience.
But I don't. The horror audience, I don't think is a very large gaming audience.
Okay, now right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. With the recent success of a lot of fucking horror games, right?
Such as
Resident Evil 8 being one, because whether you like to it, like whether it plays out or not, that is a horror game, and that
the medium did pretty well too. I think the medium did pretty well.
The medium did well.
Sure. I think it's doing well on PlayStation right now.
Again, we got two. I'll give you not Dying Light, Dead by Daylight.
The Little Nightmare games did fantastic, and their horror games. Phasmophobia is still a fucking huge game on.
That's doing well.
The Dark Picture series has done fucking well. Their horror, their psychological horror games.
I'm not saying they do bad.
The Amnesia series is massive. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach did really goddamn well despite all issues with it. Like we need to get out of this. We need to get out of this mindset that like certain genres, because of what they are niche, that they're not. They're really not.
Comparatively to the rest of the genres that they go up against,
here's the problem. Here's the problem. There is only ever two massive genres out there. But here's the thing. It's not the genres that carry them. It's the name recognition that goes with it. Like God of War going open world. It isn't open world that made that game a success. It was the fact that it was a God of War game.
Well, yeah, but then that pulls me back to my points about the horror games. Only a select few will ever make it. There's a lot of horror games out there. Only the smallest of few ever make it. My easiest one is, even though I think it is part of the Dark Pictures thing, Until Dawn did well enough, but it's never spoken of.
Like no one
talks about
the
game, and that's a
they're working on a
fantastic
remake
thing.
for it, apparently.
They are, and there's a VR DLC to it, but the game seemed to have come and gone.
Well, I think that game was just poorly marketed.
And also,
but a lot of horror games are poorly marketed. It's why Five Nights at Freddy is still so hot, and that only really got big because streamers pushed it to the next level.
I would disagree with that because here's the thing: the success of Until Dawn led to the Dark Picture anthologies.
I'm not saying it didn't do numbers, but I don't think numbers translate into here is this whole genre of people who are like, they like this. There are so many reasons why something becomes a hit. Among Us is the easiest example, right? Among Us isn't that great of a game. It became a hit and did numbers because streamers got a hold of it at least 2 years after it already existed. And then started pushing it and making it the #1 thing to play for like 2 years straight. Phantasmovia, I'm saying it wrong, is also another one. Like, the strength of that game is built on the people you're playing with. Whereas stuff like the Dark Pictures anthology, Resident Evil has the name baked in from years ago. That's just a staple.
Agreed.
But something
Evil
like Martha's Like Dead and or The Medium, which both Medium did well, and this Martha's Dead will probably do well as well. But I feel like they're going to come and go. No one's going to really be like talking about these in the same way we do a lot of other games.
Like, nobody's buying a system to play these games. Like, nobody's buying I gotta go buy this shit to go play. Like, nobody's doing it.
But the one thing I'll say is, when it comes to censorship like this, it's the reason that people aren't buying systems to play these games. If horror could really be unleashed, because there is a thirst for the horror genre, whether it's movies or like people want horror, and it sucks right now. Like, no matter where you go, it's hard to find good horror. So when you start censoring aspects of horror, you're kind of killing the genre. I think a lot of people would flock and buy a console for a great horror game or for a great horror experience. I think people would. People love horror.
I do not discount that at all. In fact, I would go on to say I fully agree with you. If they can figure out a way to make it palatable, because right now what seems to be the big issue is people don't want to participate in the things that make the horror genre so interesting. Like, they don't want to be active participants, but they want to watch. No. And so
publishers don't want them to be active participants.
I mean, at least according to, and obviously Twitter's nothing, but everything I see from Twitter is regarding Martha's Dead is a lot of people, while they're still standing on their censorship box, are still like, but I get it, because this is pretty messed up. And I'm like, is this the thing that draws your line in the sand? Like, I'm just so shocked that this is the thing.
I'd also just like to point out, Resident Evil 2 Remake was censored in Japan.
Yeah, that's normal in Japan.
No, I know, but I'm just talking about as a whole, because, again, Japanese company, but it was still censored. Like, the whole scene where you go into the police station and the guy's trying to get underneath the grating, and you grab him and you try and pull him through, and his fucking body gets cut in half. That was censored in Japan. Like, the camera never shows it.
In anime as well. This is nothing new. Like, especially if you
censored.
Especially if you watch anime when it comes to captation, when it comes to stuff like that. Like, there is shit tons of censorship.
I don't know. Fist of the North Star was pretty damn graphic.
Apparently, hold on. Cyber, could you like expand on that? What was Resident Evil 4 VR censored for? Like, why was that censored?
Yeah. I'd say anime is a little different only because people still. I mean, most of it still is, but there is still a perception of anime is for children.
I would say maybe anime is regionally censored, but anime is very graphic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And very gory.
Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, it all depends on what you're watching.
No, No,
Shit, I was just
even
watching Attack on
anime.
Titan.
No, look.
Right.
Even,
Elfen Lied.
look. Even
Elfen Lied's my shit.
anime. Look, even anime that is all about the horror, they still censor it. They
Not in
don't
America.
want to show
That
you
should be.
the death.
See-
Like very few anime show you the genuine quote unquote death of such character. They
If
either
my anime has TVMA,
I
it
think
is gory and
a
graphic
lot
as
of
hell.
a lot of
I'm saying.
shonen anime don't see, but like
See,
Farrell brought up Attack
now,
on Titan. You see them
here's-
die.
Yes, here's the thing about Japan that needs to also be remembered, because this is actually a thing. If they release a censored version, usually a uncensored version comes out not shortly afterwards. Because it's the time slot that they put the TV shows on in Japan.
I can name.
I mean, look what they did. Look what they did with. Look what they did with what's called Seven Deadly Sins. They killed that show.
But that show's kind of for kids.
Sorry?
The show is for kids, and that budget is also for kids.
I mean, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but like Naruto, One Piece, like shonen magazine is designed to like shonen kids. It's designed to kings.
Yeah,
like,
shonen is typically towards kids. I mean, I can name a couple off the top of my head: Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, Gantz, Genocyber,
Tokyo Ghoul is seinen.
Corpse Party, Tortured Souls, Blood Sea, Dead Man Wonderland.
Blood Sea is what he's naming. Yeah.
Death Frenzy, Terraformers. Like just off the top of my head, there's a couple of really, really fucking like gory animes.
Terraform did censor that as well, and then
but there's like I said, there's an uncensored version.
Yeah, I just said.
Elfen Lied, I believe, got censored, but again, that comes down to the time slot it comes out of, because then they bring out the censored version. Elfen Lied to me was one of the ones where it was like that, where I remember there being a censored version, but also there being an uncensored version. Parasite was another one as well.
See, like, what you have to remember is that over there in that country, it airs on public television. So there has to be a censored version for mass audience. So that it's no different.
Just depends on the anime. Yep.
And they don't.
Yeah,
and I believe
it's no different than the shows in America. We have shows that come on during,
prime time
public television, and they have to follow FTC regulation.
And I believe, unlike at least over here in the UK, I don't believe Japan has a watershed moment. Like, because over here in the UK, there's a certain time. I believe it is 8 p.m. is called the watershed moment, and that's when you get the uncensored stuff. That's when
when Luther comes on.
You kind of do have that in Japan, which is why you basically are gonna get the new Bleach anime that's coming back is gonna be on a later time slot.
Exactly.
We're gonna expect gore, expect death and stuff like that.
And right there is my point, because I watch Elfen Lied. Sorry, I watch Welcome to Demon School Irukun. I actually watched that live. I actually have a Japanese I can fucking find it. I have a Japanese time schedule for anime releases in Japan, and dude, that shit is packed. Yeah, okay, anime. Here we go. I'll actually bring it on screen for everybody to see, so they know I'm not bullshitting. There you go. This is what I'm talking about. Like, they got shows at 2 a.m., fucking 8:30 a.m., 9:45, 2:30, 3:31, 4 p.m., 5:30 p.m., 10:30 p.m. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, the amount of animes that are coming out on a daily goddamn basis over there in Japan. Yep. Fucking One Piece. By the way, I say 2 p.m. I think this is set to GMT time. I believe I have this set to GMT time, because I don't believe they're showing One Piece at 2 a.m. in the morning.
BT on cut hours. Who are the Martha is Dead developers? Where are they from?
I will find.
I know that much. They're smaller.
Yes, let's get back onto the Martha's Dead subject.
The name of the studio is LKA. Never heard of them before, and apparently they work on Warhammer something, and they work on other what's called
Are they Western?
horror
They're
game.
European. They might be European.
It would not surprise me if they are fucking European.
And at the
Set
same
during
time,
World War
this is
II, so-
at the same time, apparently they had a run with the ASRB before when come to their previous game. So this is not the very first time that there are in a controversy.
Let me see.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Go ahead, Pharaoh. I want your opinions on this because Zero was talking a lot.
I mean, I think the game has a rated
Hold on,
is rated
don't
M, right?
snitch to me.
It's already rated M. So, my thing is that if the game already carries a certain rating, as long as it stays within that rating, I don't think any content within that game should be censored.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I get if it's for regional reasons that the game is censored, I understand that. But if it's just at your discretion, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, because that's massive.
Question:
Yeah.
What is mature content in UK? Because I read it's 16 and plus.
No, it's 18.
Apparently, on the ASRB rating, it's 16.
Bullshit!
For UK.
Hold up, no bullshit. Their rating.
ESRB is.
Hold up.
I'm gonna
ESRB
look it up
isn't
myself.
TV rating, so
No. The
ESRB
ESRB
is,
is game ratings. That's our version of the game ratings. Give me a
I thought
minute.
ESRB was US. Y'all have ESRB too?
Yes.
I thought ESRB was just US. Okay, I thought y'all was.
No. Ours is similar. It's not the Entertainment Software Rating Board, but it is similar. I think I've got a game right here. Give me a sec. It's what's that called? A PEGI. Ours is the PEGI system.
Peggy, yeah.
PEGI. Bullshit. That's a PEGI 16. Fuck off. Fuck right off. I do not give me a minute. I need to look this up because I do not believe this game is a fucking 16.
I don't think I've heard Peggy 12. I've heard Peggy.
Yeah, no.
18.
Game.
I don't think I've heard Peggy 16 though.
The game is recommended for adult audiences, rated ESRB M mature, Peggy 18, and USK 16. USK is something different.
Okay, so
the USK is where the fuck is the USK? Is Wales, I believe.
Right after anything goes, I figured.
But no, like we do have USK. It's German. That's okay. The USK rating is the German ratings.
Yeah, that explains it.
Yeah, that explains it. What allow swastikas in video games, but cutting someone's face off, that's okay for 16-year-olds.
Oh, for sure.
That
It's part of the culture.
That explains it.
I thought that
Germany doesn't even allow blood.
Hold on.
Germany.
Jubei, I thought part of their culture was surprise showers and a bit of a suntan afterwards.
Germany doesn't even allow blood. Rape. It's over.
Yeah, and so in that instance, with Germany, it being regionally censored would make sense.
Yeah, like I could disagree with it, but I'd understand it. It's like their stance on swastikas. Like, okay, yeah, I disagree that you're hiding it because you're practically fucking hiding your history. A disgraceful history, but hiding from history is one hell of a way to fucking repeat it. But I get it. Japan censoring excessive gore, I get it. But I'm just gonna give my thoughts now, real quick. Mike, I don't like it being censored worldwide. I don't like that. I don't think it fucking should be. I think this is this goes down to that slippery slope thing. Now, if it was regionally done, say Japan doesn't has a thing against suicide. I totally get you don't want to show that. Perfectly fucking fine with that. Censor it. I'm not gonna fully disagree with it, but I get it. I'm not going to fully agree with it, but I get it. Germany with their swastikas as an example. I don't agree with it, but I get it. But the fact that this is a company saying, we don't want this in our game, period, I don't agree with, because again, that's a slippery slope thing. Now, for me, there are a couple of... I wouldn't say it discomforts me, but for me, there always has to be context. There has to be reason. I don't like Like, don't expect me to fucking buy your game if I've got to cut the face off of somebody just for shits and giggles and shock value. Because then you're just trying too hard. But if there's a reason... So, for example, let's fight in the game. We have to cut off a face because we need to go through an area that has spirits or something. Or some... I'm just spitballing a hypothetical to make my point. You got to cut off the face of somebody. You've got to wear it to go through... an area in disguise. Like, it's the only way you could get through. That context makes sense to me. Like, you're giving me a tangible reason why that my character would do this. Why the agency is out of my hands. Because if I had agency, I wouldn't fucking do it. Because, you know, I'm cutting the face off of somebody. I don't get my jollies off on that. You know, shooting Nazis, I get my jollies off of doing. But cutting someone's face off, that doesn't do it for me, Chief. But if I'm given context, if I'm given context to the reason why I'm doing it, that makes sense. I've always likened it to Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I fucking hate that movie. But I hate that movie for a specific reason. And it's the scene where... has anybody here seen Alien vs. Predator Requiem?
Oh, no,
Sure, is that the Shane Black one?
No. Wait, that's the second one? Yes, I think it might have been the Shane Black one.
That's the one with the with.
Pred-alien.
No, is that the one with the Super Predator? Yeah, the Super Pred-alien.
The Pred-alien.
I've seen a bunch of them.
Right.
I can't.
The reason why, okay, I hate that movie for one particular scene, and it's the Pred-alien goes into a maternity ward and basically deep throat impregnates a bunch of pregnant women, and they end up dying because of it. And see, my problem is what?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. See, my thing is the scene adds nothing. The scene is just there, and it just happens. But there's no real, true follow-up to it. There's no context. It's just there. It exists for the sake of shock value. I don't like that. I fucking hate...
Feels that bias too?
This scene seems to be for Capcom as well, only.
But here's the thing, with Martha is Dead, I don't know the context. Like, you could throw that scene out of context, and I'd be like, ugh, God, that's awful, that's awful. First of all, I would, being the sick bastard I am, I'd critique the fact that, you know, you can't pull off a human face that easily after cutting it like that. There's a lot more intricacies into cutting off a human face like that. Don't ask me how I know. But out of context, I'd be like, the fuck is this? The fuck's the point? But then me being me, I'd question, okay, what's the context? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I cutting off the face of this person? Why am I? Because in the video, you clearly see she takes it off and wears it for some reason. We don't know. That again, context matters in my opinion.
But did she not wake up from a dream?
Yeah, she woke up from a dream, but we don't know if that's something she did while she was sleepwalking. Again, context. Now the suicide thing for me, that one I feel shouldn't be censored because depending again on the context, it could be a commentary on depression and people's battles with suicidal thoughts. Now, as someone who has battled with those demons in my past and thankfully beat them multiple times, that would speak to me. That would be like, damn. Like that's almost like an out-of-body experience watching someone do it. Like that could have been me. And I'm glad it isn't. So if it's a suicide for the sake of a suicide, get that fuck out of it. Like I ain't gonna call for your censorship, but don't expect me to support your game. It's like, but if it's a commentary on it, I don't believe it should be censored because again, context matters. The best game I can give you an example of that had no context for anything that it fucking did was, I believe, the game Torment.
Maybe you can look up Martha is Dead suicide cutscene.
No, because I feel like that might get this fucking taken down. The cutting the face off, I feel like won't get this taken down, but I feel like the suicide one might get it taken down.
Gotcha.
Now, yes, I love Face Off Media. I love Face Off. It's a great film. Underrated. It's a national treasure.
Oh, yeah, that is a good film.
It is.
It is
fantastic.
It's a great film.
One of John Woo's most underrated films, in my opinion. But But yeah, like, no, I feel like context, in a world where everybody is getting shouted down, context to me is king. Like, you can talk about anything. You can talk, like, again, I'm not speaking for everybody of a different color than me, because I'm sure our views would disagree. But I feel like if you want to talk about anything, you have the right to talk about anything, so long as the context matters. Okay. If you have, I'm trying to think of the non-extreme version of what I'm thinking of, but all I can think of is the extreme version. I don't want to upset anybody here because we're talking about context. But yeah, if you want to talk about anything in a video game, that's fine. It just needs to have the context behind it. Like, you can't just throw around like anything with and expect me to. Like I said, I'm not going to call for your censorship. Just don't expect me to support it.
Right.
But yeah, the game Torment. I believe it's called Torment. Is that game is just basically a bunch of fucking gore, a bunch of titties, and that's about fucking it. And I mean, they say you're in hell, and I'm like, okay, there's a little context, but why? Like, there are a million depictions of what hell looks like. You went with the. I would like to know the context behind why you picked the flesh covered walls, the gore, and just the straight out fucking tits.
Oh, you mean just like Dante's Inferno? Yeah.
I was about to say, you mean one of the greatest
there's a whole level like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. With Dante's Inferno, there's context to why it's there. It's a level of hell specifically for that. No, Torment is basically... I'm going to see if I can fucking find it.
I mean, they also did throw Satan's dick like right in your face.
To be fair, yeah, but here's the thing.
No fucking reason.
Right in your face. That does not bother me. That does not bother me. I don't think it is Tormented Souls. It's something else.
Someone asked, maybe you're not talking about Agony?
Yes, it's Agony. Thank you, media. It's not Tormented Souls. It's Agony. I'm gonna show some gameplay of this, and you fucking tell me what the fuck people are thinking of. But no, with like Dante's Inferno, again, it makes sense because of the context of you're in hell, and this is based off of the Divine Comedy. Like, this is the multiple levels of hell that this is the multiple levels of hell, and what you are viewing is the manifestation of one of those circles of hell. Like, again, context matters, but like I'm just looking at what I'm looking at right now. Like,
are those teeth? Hold on, are those fucking teeth?
Yes.
Why? Why?
What if I told you this gets worse?
Like, I wasn't a fan of the teeth in Psychonauts 2 either. I'm like, the fuck, man, these damn teeth. But
I mean, Scorn exists.
And Scorn is going to be up there as being weird as fuck too. Like, there's so much erotic and.
But here's the thing: I don't mind weird as fuck. I don't mind weird as fuck for the sake of weird as fuck as well. I actually don't mind that. Like, I don't mind you just oh, there is a vagina wall in this game as well.
Ooh.
Like, I don't mind weird for the sake of weird. Like, for example, you're having a straight-laced conversation in a video game, then suddenly in the background you just see a naked woman walk by. It's like, okay, what the fuck? Like, that shit can call, like, just weird for the sake of weird can be fun. It can be fine, even without context. But,
Doki Doki Literature Club, anybody?
So why is this game not fun then?
Oh, why is this game not fun? Oh, because this game is straight boring. Like, this game does... Outside of just being, like, what the fuck, like, visually, this game is boring as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this game is boring as sin.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like, I don't...
What's happening? He just dropped his torch? Like,
he's hiding. Okay. He's hiding from something. But yeah, no, this game is boring as fucking sin. But But yeah, like I don't want to censor people. I don't mind people being weird, quirky, or shit like that. I mean, fuck's sake, if I wanted people censored, we wouldn't have Suda51 and all his random shit. But like, if you're gonna do some stuff like Martha is Dead, in my opinion, you need context. All right, who else has got anything to say on this?
I guess I'll go.
Go ahead. I'll go after you.
Yeah, I'll keep mine short. Like, while I don't agree with censorship, like I said, because we lack context, I don't know exactly why. If it's just something just thrown in there for shits and giggles and it doesn't really have any meaning besides, like Dante said, like shock value, okay, I could see you censoring that.
Then, I wouldn't say. No offense, I wouldn't even censor it. Then I would just turn around and say, okay, if you're just gonna throw that in there for shits and giggles, okay, cool, you do you, boo, but don't expect me to fucking buy it.
Right. I mean, and then even with that being said, like, we don't really want censorship in these things. Like, you don't want to censor art, and that's what games are. At the end of the day, it's an art form. It's entertainment, like most art.
Yeah.
You kind of lose the whole point of what it is when you try to take away things just for the sake of taking away things, when there's no real meaning behind it.
Going to Rome and putting tiles around those naked sculptures.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
yes!
them dicks and tits is just out. There's nothing, like,
they need to be covered. All right.
Yeah,
there's
by
children
who?
Here.
No, that's what the
Roman children.
That's what the Christians tried to do.
I mean, shoot, but just to kind of wrap up that part, like if they could put disclaimers, like, I mean, granted that might trigger some people, and I don't know if that was like part of the whole we don't want to trigger people to actually commit suicide because they're going to be in here showing a graphic suicide, blah 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 blah. But I mean, in that case, give you the player an option to skip it. At least then, people that want to experience that, it's there. If you feel like it's going to trigger you, you can skip it. Just like with No Russian, just like with anything that can be considered triggering or distasteful to a certain demographic. It's them trying to do the whole this is PC. We gotta tell them, our games we gotta protect our kids. You're not fucking protecting.
I honestly believe this game was being published by a Capcom, or like if it was by a larger studio making this game, I don't think these elements would be.
It wouldn't
censored.
Yeah, no. I'm. Here's the thing. I'm hot take, but if this was done by a large company, I don't think these elements would be in the game to begin with.
Yep. Some executive would have been like, "Go fuck yourselves." like we're not doing that.
Possibly, but I'm saying, had it cleared the red tape at that company, I don't think.
Oh, I agree.
We would see Sony doing this.
No, because they have more pull.
Yeah, because I'd be straight up like, you gonna do what? Nah, we just ain't gonna drop it for you then. Have a good day. Like,
I agree. I think maybe there's an element of what is it worth? I saw somebody talk about it, and I thought it was a very interesting example. Like, on Disney Plus currently, like, a lot of the old movies, Peter Pan, Dumbo, have some pretty unfortunate connotations regarding race and other stuff. So
the blackface crows.
The black crows. Yeah. See, for me, when it comes to that kind of stuff,
but Jim Crow's hilarious, right? Like, we all agree, like, it's not good, but
no, like, but it has its place in history. It's like
right.
For me, so it's like Song of the South. Like, I admit Song of the South is problematic. Definitely, I admit there's definitely some things in there that have not aged, but it's history. It's part of history that we need that honestly should be available for people to view and see. Not just how far we've come, but how far we still have to go.
And see, that's where Disney has decided it's not worth it. Because for Dumbo, for Peter Pan, for all of those, right before the movie comes on, it's a disclaimer basically saying like, hey, it's going to be some messed up things in here. This was a product of its time. We certainly aren't like this anymore. There you go.
No, but we still hate the Jews.
They need to do that for Daredevil and the Punisher and all that once they rip it off of Netflix.
Yeah, but I'm saying they will not go through the trouble for Song of the South. They do not want to acknowledge its existence.
Yeah.
They don't speak about it. It's not on Disney Plus. They don't reference it. It might as well not have ever been created as far as Disney's concerned, because they do not want to deal with the hassle.
Which is weird because in my opinion, some of the shit in their animated stuff, in my opinion, is far worse than some of the shit they did in Song of the South. Like some of the stuff in like the Black Crows, in my opinion, again, this is coming from a white guy. In my opinion, the Black Crows thing is way more fucking just out front racist than
it was.
Some of the stuff in Song of the South.
That was like the most jive turkey ass caricature bullshit.
Yeah. The problem
but,
with
Jube,
Song of the
but
South,
admit it, Jube, you know at least one person in your life who is like that.
like, I mean, the problem with Song of the South isn't the depiction. It isn't. I would argue say it's not like capital R racist. It is changing history because the character Uncle Remus seems to be happy to be there and happy to teach all these little white children about these nice parables about what you shouldn't do. But it explicitly say he's basically a slave.
Yeah,
and that's the type of dangerous history rewriting where it's like, oh no, some people were like Uncle Remus, like no, that's not what this was.
Okay, but then I could turn around and say, in the same context, Django Unchained came out not too long ago, and like, do we need to remember what was his name? What was Samuel L. Jackson's character in that called?
Django Unchained was not offensive to me.
Exactly, but my point is. But my point,
he wasn't happy to be there.
But he was though. No, that's the thing. No, Samuel L. Jackson's character was happy to be there.
No. I put it in perspective of the two movies we're watching. We're watching something made by Tarantino, and we're something made by Disney, who specializes in joy.
Yeah, so, I get that. But if we're talking,
what Samuel Jackson looked like happy is not the same what Uncle Remus looked like happy.
I get that. But my point is it's not necessarily rewriting history when there is also context behind the fact that, unfortunately, again, I'm not defending. I'm just adding the context of, you know, if we're talking about rewriting history, there were people like that back then. Like, unfortunately,
well, you're using Tarantino, who constantly rewrites history.
Exactly, but everybody rewrites history. But he
completely rewrote the fucking Manson murders. Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
He's an unreliable narrator when it comes to any historical fiction.
And everybody is. But no, I'm not quoting Tarantino there. I'm actually quoting actual history.
Like, Sam Jackson was a bad guy.
He was.
Uncle Remus is not the bad person in this story.
I get that.
He's not presented as one. And so, like, it becomes... I understand, and part of it is the people who are watching that and the people watching Tarantino movies are a different audience because they're designed for different audiences. Maybe let kids grow up and make their own decisions about whether or not Sam Jack is a good guy.
Oh, I never turned around and said he was a good guy. I'm specifically turning around and talking about like the mindset of him being a slave and happy in his position is my point.
The thing is, it was in that particular household, you can't even really look at him as a slave. Like, what slave is going to talk to a white dude like that? First off, like, there was a power dynamic going on there that was very.
Uncle Remus would never.
Remus would absolutely never. Not. Yeah. Like, he had this white dude clutching his pearls. Like,
I would agree. I got 6 shots. Like, God damn it.
It's just a different circumstance.
Yeah, and to bring it back, that's why I thought about Pharaoh's point. Like, it could just be the idea. Like, listen, man, I'm not going through the hassle. I'm just not going to do it. Like, I don't care. You can make whatever reasons you want and should. They're like, I'm not. And Sony's big enough to like not do it because Horizon is about to come out. Like that. The Horizon will take up, or is it what news already is out? But like that will take up the goddamn news cycle until Elden Ring comes out. That'll take up the goddamn news cycle. Yeah, Horizon's already taking up the news cycle.
Which makes me question why. Which then makes me question like why the fuck bother censoring this when Horizon has already fucking eclipsed this game?
They could have stealth dropped this joint. They could have stealth dropped this joint and probably would have been all right.
Yep.
That's my point.
The only reason, one last thing I'm gonna say about that. This was previously a PlayStation exclusive. And You know how casuals are.
He's gonna turn around and say this is an attempt at Sony at payback.
No.
Oh wow.
No. This is attempt Sony at preventing casual from saying, "Hey, look what PlayStation allowed." And what's called this is the PlayStation platform where you can see people allowed to commit suicide or stuff like that.
But it's not
like
Xbox.
You know how public.
Well, either way, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because now you're saying that your games are censored here. You can get the full experience on PC and Xbox. Come to Xbox where you can get the full experience. Come to PC
But that's the thing, though. If you're casuals, you're not gonna know about that.
I mean, didn't PlayStation also show Kratos throwing himself off a mountain to try to kill himself? Yes, they did.
Twice.
They did that.
And stabbed himself.
Multiple times, yes. So it's like, come on.
I'd also just like to point out, this is also the same company that did a fucking tragic PR goddamn fucking marketing campaign where they actually sacrificed a goat for one of the releases of one of the God of War games. I would just like to point that out. This is that same goddamn company.
Sacrifice a goat?
Yep, hold up. Give me a minute. I will fucking bring it up. Hold on. God of War goat.
There's a lot of hypocrisy in this censorship game that Sony's playing.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. At that time, Sony threw a God of War party with a dead goat.
Okay, never heard of that. And oh wow.
So I guess that makes you a casual then.
Honestly, I missed that. Sony.
I never knew about this one. Sorry.
Again, y'all are fucking casuals then. Y'all fucking casuals. But here's the thing. I feel, and this honestly, here's the thing. So this is gonna be another take. I think we're gonna have to slowly phase out the word casual at this point. The reason why.
Have to.
No, it
should have been gone a long time ago.
Here's my reason why. Because news like what's happening with this game is no longer, the casuals don't ever hear about it. But they will, because social media exists. Twitter fucking exists. All of these casuals, I would say 70% of them are on Twitter. They will see at least one of their friends retweeting this shit, and they'll be like, oh, what the fuck's this? Retweet. And then it just starts a snowball effect and turns into a fucking wildfire. And then everybody knows it, and then they go and tell their friends word of mouth.
And if we're keeping it 100, 90% of the people on Twitter that's doing all this console war tweeting are casuals.
I'm gonna fucking, oh my god, I'm gonna get onto that in a sec.
Like, bro, they spend all this time in spaces and all this time on Twitter. Like, where's, like, how
y'all playing games, yo? Like, what? How many hours y'all
like,
gonna be?
You gotta go to work. You know, like, you got family, you got kids. And then you're dedicating hours to Twitter.
I genuinely not only disagree with that, but I can prove it. Like most people that are in spaces and talk about
games. I can prove it. Look at Dante, look at Kofi. They play a ton of games. You rarely see them on social media. They're too busy playing games.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, I am always on social media, but I just rarely tweet because I'm like, I've really got nothing to say.
That's what I'm saying. You're not on Twitter like you're promoting what you're doing.
But you don't need to be on Twitter or not to be on Twitter. Like, you can be wherever you want. It's called multitasking.
Bro, these people...
Like, you can literally be playing
a big game comes out like Sifu, they beat it, and then they go back, and they just chill, and they hang out on Twitter, and they're not...
No, they're beating it... No, they're actually beating it again. There are people that...
And that's what casuals do. Casuals play Call of Duty all year round. They play one game. They play Sifu and they beat it 2-3 times.
They play Call of Duty. They play 2K.
Hold the fuck. Hold on. If a person beat every single game that have come out that he or she is enjoy, does that make that person a casual then?
What? Could you repeat that slower and more clearer for the peanut gallery?
Okay. If a person buys every single game and beat it.
Every single game that they buy, they beat it.
I mean, like, If for example, if my genre is action adventure and JRPG, let's just say that, and I played every single game that's come out, like for example, literally what's come out now, the one game that's on Game Pass, JRPG one. I forgot. You said you were gonna play it.
Edge of Eternity, which, oh boy.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that game.
I don't know anything about it, so no comment. If he or she played that and beat it, and played Sifu and beat it, and while waiting for Forbidden West, they're beating Sifu again. Does that make that person a casual then?
No. Here's the thing. When someone is talking, here's the thing. At least because everybody's definition of a casual comes differently. Right? My definition of a casual is a person who thinks Call of Duty is like the only good fucking game that comes out a year. Is a person that will probably buy like 2 other games that year, but their predominant game that they always play is either Call of Duty, Madden, Destiny 2, and NBA.
Okay. Yeah.
I agree.
Like
So
those,
we're the same-
if they play just those 4, and maybe just
Or
maybe,
Fortnite. You got to throw Fortnite in there too.
yeah,
Here's the
Fortnite.
thing, though.
But hold on, let me fucking finish. Fuck. They play those 5 games, but then they might venture out and play something like a Dying Light 2. But they don't touch like a Sifu, or if they do touch a Sifu, it's because they saw their favorite Let's Player or a friend said, "Oh, this game's really great." Like then they'll venture out into those, but they'll stay in their comfort zone. That to me is a casual, a person who plays goddamn mobile games while on the shitter. That's a casual gamer to me. Okay, someone who goes out and buys Sifu because they heard it's a good game, while also playing another game like Dying Light, and plays like multiple other games in the same year. That is not a casual gamer. That is a gamer. Okay. Now, someone who plays Sifu and then beats it again, they're not a casual gamer because there's multiple. Because here's the thing, people have fucking lives. Okay, Pharaoh has his kids, Jubei has his dreads, Kofi has his translations, and Zero is Zero. Usually, you guys are unlike people like me who have no fucking life what to speak of, and playing video games is what I do for. I don't want to say a living, but what I do as like a passion. These guys probably play like 1 or 2 games and 1 or 2 games at the same time, beat them, and then wait for the next release. And while they're waiting for the next release, or if their friends are on, will casually play stuff like Madden, Call of Duty, and stuff like that. But that doesn't make them casual gamers because they're playing multiple other games, but they have their comfort zone that they play with friends, and because they've got so limited time in their lives.
True.
That's why the people that you see on Spaces, like I know most of these people. I have them on my PlayStation for the most part, not everyone. They play games. When they put their game year record on PlayStation, like you're gonna see them play games, and that's what I was trying to make. Casuals are not gonna sit in Spaces for a minute.
They are. No, they are.
Alone an hour.
You're separating a few people from the masses.
I'd also like to
Most
point
of
out,
them-
you will find Call of Duty casuals in Call of Duty Spaces because they want to know about the next battle pass.
Yeah, Call of
wanna-
Duty
Now,
Space.
let me finish. You will see. And this is the problem with this fucking tribalistic bullshit that I'm fucking sick of, and why I'm not looking forward to this next goddamn fucking topic. Casuals are tribalistic in nature, like every other goddamn human being. So if you are a casual and you're pro PlayStation because you've always got your bias, you will find them in pro PlayStation spaces. The same with Xbox and the same with fucking Game Pass. Like, Game Pass loyalists will fucking be in Game Pass fucking spaces promoting that shit as much as they can, like they suck Phil Spencer's dick. Like they are a fucking altar boy at the goddamn hip of a goddamn Catholic priest.
What I'm trying to say is, if the topic is Game of the Year or diversity in video games, you're not gonna see casuals in this space.
Yo, you will. No, you will. No, you will, because you'll also see people who don't even fucking play video games in those spaces.
Like, you might, like... Alright, so you might make the argument that the people running those spaces are hardcore gamers. But most of the people in those spaces are not.
I wouldn't say most, I would say about 40%. Unless you're talking diversity in video games, where it's about 80% of them are people who don't even fucking play video games. Are just in there wanting to get in their fucking brownie points with PC culture.
Well, see, that's been my experience, because I sit in spaces sometimes when I'm at work. Like, I was in one today, something about Horizon. And like, we're all around the Twitter space. We know the usual suspects of people who play these games. But like, it was like 148 people in there. The people who talk and the people who are probably in like the first 3 rows, I've seen those people. I'm sure they play games. Everyone 5 and 4 rows below that, I don't even know who they are. Like, and some of them, because the people who run the spaces are personalities in and of themselves. Some of them are only there for their favorite personality. So they might not be playing any games. They might be casuals just to agree with, anybody.
God, do I need to? You know, Cyber brings up a good point about non-gamers being in these spaces. The fucking Dante's Inferno protest, like that wasn't headed by gamers. That was headed by fucking Christian groups.
And Twitter just allows spaces to appear. Like you can just search for them.
Twitter fucking amplifies that shit with the Hubble telescope. Like that's like looking at an ant on the ground with the Hubble telescope. It amplifies that shit that much.
Yeah, like I think, I mean, you both can be right, but like I understand Pharrell's perspective. Obviously, like people like Persona, Luca, all of those folks, yes, they play. We know they do. They also lead the spaces. Everyone else who doesn't even participate or who might jump in randomly, I don't know. I can't say. And I say this as a person who's sitting in spaces not playing video games, so I'm at work. So like, there's got to be a bunch of people, and there's got to be a percentage of people just me who's sitting in.
Like the people that he's talking about that play these games are the same ones that are calling out all these people for not playing games. So obviously they feel the same way as I do.
And here's the thing, you want to know who the true game, in my opinion, you want to know who the true gamers are? The ones who just don't say a thing. Because they don't need to. Because they're just there playing and enjoying games. They'll give a hot take if something's really bad, like I do with this censorship bullshit. But when it comes to individual games, whether they enjoy it or not, like, about 90% of the time, they're silent. Because they just want to enjoy their fucking game. And then you got the other 10% in my case, which is like Cyberpunk. It's like, okay, no, it does fucking have issues, but overall, it's a great game.
No, I genuinely disagree with that for one simple reason. If you're passionate about something, you're gonna talk about it.
That's why I just said about stuff like censorship in games. But if I'm talking about just games in general, no, if you're a true fucking gamer, you're not going to talk about that shit because you just want to sit there and play games. Now, if you're passionate about it, you're going to speak up about the stuff like censorship. You're going to talk about topics about video games, but not topics on video, like in video games. Sorry, you're going to talk about topics about video games, but not topics directly on a video game. Because you're just also, there enjoying it.
I would also just maybe twist just a little and just be like, that you're passionate about it, you certainly will talk about it. Doesn't mean you'll talk about it with a bunch of strangers. Kofi, Pharaoh, and I grew up talking about video games. We could do it with or without you guys here. We could continue to do that. Our conversations would never change.
True.
But I don't need to go into a space to do that. And some people do. Some people don't have those people to be able to talk to. So I understand that. But like, I think a lot of them in the spaces, like they've got friends. They are friends. They got their Destiny crew, they got their Street Fighter crew, they got their Uncharted crew that like, I don't need to talk to you strangers and potentially argue with some rando Xbox fan who just popped in and now want to get all crazy. But I could just talk to my people.
Why do you reckon I don't talk to Pharaoh or Jubei outside? I just don't want to be dealing with their Xbox shit.
Yeah. Now, granted, some of it's fun. Like, it's always fun to engage in new people, but like, I don't think the passion is that part of it. Like, you just want to do it because you want to be a part. But like, if you've always had a group of people to talk games with, you have that. Like, you don't need to go outside of that to do it unless you want to.
Let's say outside of this podcast, like when me, Zero, and our like close friends talk video games, a console, like an actual plastic box, is never brought up.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Like almost never.
Alright.
Beautiful.
Going from one fucking shit show to another. Okay, I'm just gonna get my thoughts in before I let this turn into a battle royale. But I swear to God, if this goes so goddamn far, I will go Judge Dredd on your asses and just sentence you all to death. Okay, you understand? I want to make sure I'm fucking understood. Do critic scores have too much power? Yes, they do. Because fucking idiot. No, they do. Let me get my point out.
I just want to be counterculture. I'm sorry.
I will mute you. Critic scores have way too much power because idiots listen to them. Alright? Because everybody doesn't like to form an own opinion. People like other people to give them an opinion. They don't want to try the game or see the game for themselves. This is why I would say nowadays 80% of games, when you see a score or a video game, it widely differs from the actual fan consensus. Okay, like games like Cyberpunk got absolutely lambasted by fans, but got a lot of praise from critics. It didn't deserve the praise it got from critics, but it didn't deserve all the lambasting from the fans. But that's because it was somewhere in the middle for me. You've got things like The Last of Us Part 2. Where it got praised by critics for a lot of things that it shouldn't have been praised for. Now, again, this is all my opinion. Where it shouldn't have, and that's where it varied from a lot of other people in the gaming community. There is a lot of games out there where Days Gone is another one. Got lambasted by critics, but fans very well received the game. Critics very rarely line up with what the consensus of what people who play these games actually think. Okay? And the problem is people are easily led by these reviews to think one way or another. Because the thing is about these reviews, they're no longer subjective. They are opinion pieces. They are blogs. They're not talking about the technicalities of a game. They're not talking about how it could compare to other games and the mechanics that are already there. They're talking. A lot of critics nowadays talk about the politics. They talk about, it's pushing the envelope with diversity and shit like that. Like they're talking about a lot of things that They're giving opinion. They're injecting themselves into what they believe about the game. If you want a brought down subjective idea of how a video game is, you watch Digital Foundry, because they just talk about the game itself. Like, does it function well? Okay, that's what I do when it comes to PC. When it comes to PC games, because I don't want a broken ass PC game in my library. Cough in fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that is why they have way too much power. Not just that, but also because Metacritic exists. And Metacritic is just that amplifier of this is the general consensus amongst reviewers. There are very few reviewers I actually trust when it comes to reviews. I will give them the time of day to let them have their opinion, but then I will form my own opinion. And it's not even real video games. It's mainly with movies. Jeremy Johns. I think that was his name on YouTube.
ACG?
What?
ACG?
No, not ACG. No, Jeremy Johns. He's a movie reviewer. Now,
he's ACG.
I only know him as Jeremy Johns.
No, movie. Never mind. I know what you're talking about. I think
he's a movie reviewer. I watch him because consensus-wise, and I'm not talking about him forming my opinions. I'm talking consensus-wise. I've looked back on a lot of the movies he's talked about, and I would say 90% of the time, Me and him have had a similar opinion about movies. So I go to him on a new movie, like the newest Scream movie. He said it was really good. I'm like, okay, I'm going in with slightly higher expectations, but I will save my actual thoughts until I actually see it. He's the only person on YouTube I trust when it comes to that stuff. Or I watch. Like I said, I don't form my opinion on him because I'm going to go and see it anyway. I would just like to hear his opinion. I'm not letting it form my opinion. But that's the problem with a lot of these games. A lot of these reviewers with games. A lot of people allow people to let reviewers form their opinions. I mean, for fuck's sake, give me a second. I want to go and check really quick what the Metacritic for this was. Because, give me a second. Because this game will be the prime example of what I'm talking about. So, yeah.
Cyberpunk?
No. Call of Duty Vanguard.
Oh.
That game was around a 7 on Metacritic. Like it was average to critics. It was above average, actually. I'll say it was above average. It was a Call of Duty game. No, I can't tell you a single fucking person outside of who else is already fucking playing that game, which has a low goddamn fucking which has a low player base right now. In regards to the previous titles, that turn around and say that game is good because it isn't. But I guarantee you that's because a lot of those people form their opinions off of critic score, or because they were just going to buy the new Call of Duty anyway. But that's again, it's a tribalistic mentality, and it's prevalent on both fucking sides. Because I'm sick. I am sick and tired. I'm sick and fucking tired, personally, of this retarded, ridiculous, asinine, dick measuring contest when it comes to people turning around and saying that, Horizon Forbidden West got the same fucking score as Horizon Zero Dawn. Is that an L or is that a W? The fuck kind of question is that? It's retarded when I see people compare the goddamn the critic score of Halo Infinite to Horizon Forbidden West. It's like, why are you allowing these people to form your fucking opinions? Find a fucking spine. Please, go on eBay. I'm sure they sell spines on there. And insert it into your back so you finally fucking have one. I am sick of going down. And damn near everybody on this goddamn podcast, minus zero, is guilty of this shit. Retweeting that kind of shit. It's asinine. Stop. Please. Get some help.
I need you to separate one thing from another.
No, it's not getting separated. None of that is getting separated.
Let me explain it though. There is a difference.
I don't need you to explain my point of view.
Let me explain it though. There's a difference between retweeting stuff for the fuck of it and actually playing the game, or choosing not to play such game because of reviews. There is
okay, but no. I'm sorry, but if you just retweet something with nothing else context, how else am I supposed to perceive what you're saying other than you would agree with what's being said?
You can agree or disagree, but at the same time play the game and decide for yourself. For example, for me, I disagreed with everything that I read about Forbidden West from that one developer. I know I'm gonna play that game, and that's why I disagree. Because so far, everything I've seen is anything but what he said. But let me switch it.
But hold on, but here's the thing. In that same tweet, you turned around and showed him praising Halo Infinite. So it's like you're comparing his two opinions, the fact that he liked this game and didn't like that game.
No, hold on. The thing I showed was not Halo Infinite, but Andromeda. I didn't even focus on Halo Infinite. I hope I didn't censor Halo Infinite one. Because there is a different one with Andromeda, which he gave a 9.5 at launch, you know, when the whole "my face is tired" meme existed. I don't think, I truly hope it was not the Halo Infinite that I retweeted.
Yeah, it was.
'Cause-
Yeah, it was. Right there. I have
Oh,
found your
for
tweet. You
fuck's
have
sake.
been found as a liar, sir. Defend yourself.
I literally just said there is literally a what's called what's the name of that game? Andromeda. Hold on a second. I'm waiting.
I've literally got your tweet up on screen. I've literally got your retweet up on screen right now. When this dude's saying, laugh my ass off, remove these fools off of Metacritic ASAP. You retweeted this.
Yes, for this simple reason that I showed you, which will come to the Admiral and Andromeda situation. Like when you give mind you, this dude, PlayStation didn't even send him a copy.
But again, no, here's the problem, Omar. You're falling into this. You are literally, right, you are literally what I'm talking about. You are letting this man's opinion of another game colour his opinion of a current game, but that's how you're judging him. You are judging him and letting him paint his opinion of the game, and it's affecting you. Whether negative or positive, you are letting it affect you. It shouldn't affect you whatsoever. You should give zero fucks about what he says, but clearly because you keep retweeting this, you give a fuck on a certain level.
Here is what will come down to me, what I care about. I care about what the developers have produced and if the end product was the score. And I mean by, and here is what I care. I never care about the score until I found out that literally developers and basically myself, I'm affected by it because look at what happened with Days Gone. Days Gone developers are not going to be able to make a Days Gone 2 so far we know because PlayStation looked at the Metacritic score and they're like, this is not good enough. Despite the fact that Days Gone sold well, that's why I wanted to have this conversation because I feel that that reviews hold a much way more power over sales. Like for example, I'm not gonna name the name drop the person name or the reviewer name, but I literally seen a developer from a combat designer or something like that literally retweet a reviewer's review and said in the tweet, this was the only one that I was afraid of if he was gonna be if it's gonna review well or not. Like that to me, that's scary. A combat lead designer or a combat designer should not need to rely on a reviewer for his or her game to do well. It should be relied on.
I don't think they rely on reviews for the game to do well.
They absolutely.
If we look at the most popular games that sell every year, they typically review the worst. Like you look at fucking Madden, Call of Duty, like he just brought up.
Yeah, Call of Duty consistently got around a 74.
There's a lot of games that review shitty and they're like top sellers every year. They come out every year. So I don't think reviews necessarily.
There are also a lot of.
They may affect bonuses and things like that.
Do you know what there is? There is literally companies literally hire other companies, and it was stated on what's his name, David Jaffe when he had Jeff Ross and the other one. They said that companies literally hire other companies to predict metascores, and I'm talking about the Activision and the you know what. They literally
they do that for movies. I mean that's a common practice in the entertainment industry. So, when you are about to release your product, you get it screened and you get a kind of feel of what the public reception of your product is going to be.
And
that's a very common practice.
And based on that reflection, either people are gonna get bonuses or we don't get sequels. And that's
that does not take place off of pre-screening. if the pre-screening does horrible, but the movie's a mass success or the game's a mass success, it's not gonna, be hurt because it failed pre-screen because it didn't do well in pre-screening.
No, I'm talking about if the game comes out and it's not reviewed well, then we, the gamers, we're not gonna get a sequel for such games. No matter how much we love.
You're looking at Days. You're looking at Days Gone. You're looking at you're
one
looking
incident
inside of a You're looking inside of a vacuum where that particular company has a particular standard, and that game didn't meet that standard. That's the case for that company. Now, I can tell you, for most other companies, if they had a game that didn't review well but it sold like gangbusters, they'd be like, I don't give a fuck, make it again, and just put a 2 on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of games like that. I mean, Bloodborne, for fuck's sake, that sold incredibly well by the standards. No sequel. Bully sold incredibly well. That sequel got fucking canned. Shadow of the Colossus sold well, didn't get a sequel.
Yeah, so I mean,
it feels like it's not a problem we've started, or heck, even that Metacritic started. It's the companies themselves. Like, I don't think you should blame if we just do Days Gone. You can blame Metacritic for a game that made Sony money, and Sony said no, we're not going to do another one. What more do you want, Sony, than the money? Like, it wasn't a bomb of the game. It was okay. Which, we talked about this last week. Like, part of their slashing of all Japan studios because it wasn't hitting the way Sony wanted them to hit. So that's really not on anybody but the company themselves. They wanted to have a good meta. I understand, but the question is why? If you're a financially successful
because they care about their public image, basically.
But their public image wasn't that bad. It's not like it was a bomb. It just didn't do that well. It's not a Last of Us 2. Not everything can be. Like, there's nothing wrong with a game sitting in the 80 range. But for some reason, Sony, at least with Days Gone, decided that's not good enough. And the question is, why is that not good enough? And that's only a question that these companies can answer. We can't do it. Metacritic can't do it. I like Days Gone. You like Days Gone. I think it's fine. I would love a Days Gone 2. I don't understand why there isn't a Days Gone 2 outside of all the stuff that they were kind of sort of talking about. But, like, it seemed to be successful enough. It's a good enough game. It's not bad. There are certainly worse games that have come out since then. So what's wrong with Days Gone? We can't get a sequel.
Like, for God's sake, I mean, let's look at, like, Red Dead Redemption. Like, I bet a lot of people don't fucking remember that's a sequel game. Red Dead Redemption is a sequel game to Red Dead Revolver. No one fucking remembers the first game.
Rocket League. Rocket League's a sequel.
It is?
Yeah, right.
I didn't even know that.
Was like super awesome car fighting something. That's the name of the original game. And like it was sort of a nothing thing, and then Rocket League came out and hit. Hell, I mean, Destiny 2, Division 2. Like,
yeah, and there you go. They got Knack a sequel, but not Days Gone. But
yeah, like, you can find a bunch of games that don't review well and they sell games.
And not just don't review well, don't sell well.
Yeah, they get sequels.
Fucking Watch Dogs 2 is another one. Fucking Halo Infinite is on the Xbox side is a good example. Halo 5 didn't review well and didn't. I mean, I don't know I didn't know how it did financially, but it didn't review well. But we got Halo Infinite.
I mean, that's a flagship franchise. I would kind of
Star Wars Battlefront 2 after the fucking. I mean, that game was a debacle as it is, but like Battlefront wasn't that good of a game, but that got a fucking sequel.
I mean,
I would say on the other side too, like I don't know what it reviewed. It must have done well for them to continue to start a new franchise, but like the first Uncharted game sucked.
It reviewed well.
I can't understand how, but fine. But like 2 was a goddamn masterpiece. But it feels like the Sony of today If they made that Uncharted game, we wouldn't get any more Uncharted's. They would have moved away from that. And like that sucks because the rest of the series is really good. It's just the first one that's terrible.
I agree.
I feel like when it comes to these reviews, I feel like for the most part, that it's like when it comes to multiplats, nobody cares. Like, I mean, you might throw it out there like, oh, this game got this score, but I've never seen, you know, a lot of social media swelling or opinions based on a multiplayer. Like, it's mainly just
exclusives
parties. Yeah, it's mainly all about the first party because people like to weaponize these scores against each other's platform of preference. So,
which is all I see on fucking Twitter, which is again like what I'm fucking sick and tired of.
Yeah, like, you know, like the exact thing that we saw that, you know, Omar retweeted. It's a weaponization of the score. Like, okay, this guy gave this game and fucking whatever, and this game that. He's a piece of shit. Or, you know, whatever. This game, you know, Xbox made a 92 Metacritic for Forza. PlayStation doesn't have a 90 Metacritic yet, or whatever. Whatever they want to go with. Like, it's just, you know, like the best reviewed game on PlayStation is Death. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying, you know, it's console war stuff. It all is the review scores. It's really only matters when it comes to first party. Other than that, multiplats are not affected by it one way or another. Guardians of the Galaxy reviewed great. It's not selling great. But if it was a first party and they reviewed great, it'd probably be selling great. Like, it's just kind of is what it is.
I don't know. It's just so, like, I know Horizon is currently dealing with this. Which, like, I mean, that's part I get it. Like, it definitely seems, I guess, scored lower than the first one.
No, it didn't. It scored the same.
No,
this was the same, which everybody seems to be saying it's better than. So
no. Everybody, no. Everything. My fucking timeline, and this is retweeted by people like Pharaoh and other people, and FC.
I ain't been on the game in Twitter. And
FC fucking retweeting
shit
this
about Eli Apple.
And like fucking, and I know FC retweeted this. Like, is this a W or an L? And it's like, that's just a stupid fucking question.
Because to me, an 89 is always a W.
Yes.
No matter how you look at it or how you slice it, it's a W. Unless you, like, you know, you want to put it in frame of like a console war thing. It's like,
in the scope of console war, it's not a W.
Right.
They can't throw it in the They can't throw it in the competitor space and be like, oh, we have something better.
Here is the thing that people need to understand. I'll take from me. I don't know about others, nor do I care about others.
And now, you know what? I want to throw some love FC's way. I just threw him under the bus, but I'll throw some love his way. He also retweeted. I don't understand why people get so worked up over Metacritic scores. Omar. Horizon Forbidden West got an 89. So what? The game is awesome and a must buy if you own a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. It isn't a lesser game because it didn't get a 90. And FC retweeted that.
Here is the thing. What God says. When you I'm thinking as a developer then. When you as a developer get feedback from a game from your previous game, and you tackle that, and you build upon that, and you improve upon that, you would expect your hard work to be rewarded. And that's why when you compare the first game to the second game, in my opinion, so far from my opinion, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be the same when I'm gonna play the game. It's not on the same level as the previous game. This should, again, in my opinion, should not get an 89. It should get above 89 because if we remove 89, let's just say the number is a 5. It should be above 5 because you literally improved on everything.
But what if... Here's the problem. Here's the problem with your fucking analysis right now. One, that's you. That's how you would do it. That's you feeling small and insecure. The other problem is, what if they remove some things in Forbidden West that were in the previous game that these reviewers and that are actually seeing as missing and would have benefited to being expanded on in the new game? Second of all, you're looking at an average overall score of all reviews. You're not looking at individual reviews. Again, this is you allowing like the stigma and shit of influencing your opinion is what I'm talking about. But you're looking at the overall Metacritic score. You're not looking at individual scores. You're looking at the average. Right? And statistically, this game might have averaged higher scores than the previous game, but just because of a few lower scores, it might have dropped down to an 89. But overall, it averaged higher scores with more than the original game.
And that's what the entire focus is about.
But again, that's your problem. That's the problem. You're allowing Metacritic to influence you.
Exactly. Hold on. How? I'm playing the game.
Because you just turned around. No, because you literally just turned around and said.
All day fucking talking about it.
And you literally just said because it's a bad thing because it's an 89 because of all of these reasons. But you're allowing Metacritic to literally influence you because it's an average score. It's the average.
No. Hold on.
I'm sorry. Am I losing my mind? He literally just said this, right?
No, hold on. You need to understand one simple thing. Everything I do on this show, on any show, on YouTube, on Twitter, it's for fun. I don't lose sleep over it. I don't get mad over it. It's simply for fun. At the end of the day, I bought that game. I didn't listen to Metacritic. I bought that day before even Metacritic was a thing. I buy what I want to buy. I play what I want to play. I used to listen to Metacritic. And when I missed out on Days Gone, I beat myself up for that and I started playing Days Gone. After that, I stopped giving a shit about Metacritic. It's just for fun and banter. That's it. There is absolutely no sleep lost.
But here's the problem, Omar. You literally just turned around and said that it being an 89 is disappointing for this, and this reason. But you're using the Metacritic average score, which is the same as the original games. You're using it as an example, which you shouldn't be doing. You are allowing Metacritic to influence you in one way or another. I'm not the only person who sees this. I can't be.
I'd be much more interested to know, I guess on the PlayStation side, is Horizon... I guess Horizon is considered the second best PlayStation game.
But
no. God of War and Last of Us 2 outclass that by far.
So then let's put some numbers to that, right? So Last of Us 2 is a 93.
Give me a minute.
Last of Us 1 is a 95.
Yeah.
Horizon's an 89, which means if Horizon is not as good as Last of Us 2, that means it can only ever be a 90, 91, or 92. So is that 3-point difference really that important?
To this tribalistic mentality, yes.
No, it's not. It's not that important.
No. In the overall, it's not. But to this tribalistic console faggotry mentality, yes, it is. It's the difference between life and fucking death, and that's why I fucking hate it.
Exactly. I look at it as there's now it's like people are they're losing a narrative. Like, how many times did we hear from 2013 to now, oh, look at the Metacritic scores. Oh, this scored this. This is this. You called Halo dog shit. It's an 87. It's a 2-point difference between Halo and Horizon. So 2 points is the difference between dog shit and not dog shit? Like, come on now.
That's the biggest issue right now is it's not being able to be used for console war purposes. That
Exactly, but it never should have been in the first place because you're looking at somebody else's opinion on something instead of playing the shit yourself and having your own and putting your own score on it.
First of all, I hope you guys are not talking about me because that's not me.
No, we're talking about
in general. In general. There's people.
Gotcha.
Because at the end of the day, like people like the topic is our critic score is too strong. And I would say no, it's not. It's not the score that's the issue because, like I highlighted, when multiplayer, it's not an issue at all. The issue is when it comes to first party, is the consumer base's reaction to first party.
But that's why I turn around and say it is powerful because of that reason, because it can cause such a shitstorm like this.
Yeah, so I would say our reactions are what's powerful, not necessarily the score.
Oh no, there's something to be said about cause and effect. I'm
not. But all right, so I feel like for the Sony side and for that fan base, Metacritic scores are more important.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree. It's important on both sides. Everybody on the Xbox side was clamoring and retweeting shit about the Forza Horizon score and Halo Infinite score. Like a badge of goddamn fucking honor.
You gotta let me finish. Alright, so you gotta let me finish. For the Xbox side, Metacritic scores are important to them because they want to throw those scores in the other side's face because they have been getting shit for not having good.
No. Aaron Greenberg is tweeting that shit. Stop it. Fucking Greenberg.
Because he is still an Xbox fan, even though he works there. He's still a fan. That doesn't stop him from being a fan.
You have every.
The reason that they do that is because they've been getting beat over the head for years for having low Metacritic scoring games.
Which is not factually incorrect.
Companies retweet it, no matter which company it is. They retweet it. Developers retweet it. They do.
The motivation for the Xbox camp highlighting Metacritic scores is because they've been getting beat over the head for years for not having those type of scores.
Here's the problem with
that. For the PlayStation side, like you said, is more important because a game like Days Gone, even though it did very well, it's not getting a sequel because it didn't review well.
You see, it's just as bad on the Xbox side. Like, that might be the reason, but it's still bad.
I'm not weighing it being how good or bad it is on either side. I'm saying how each side views scores differently.
Yeah, I get that. But here's the thing: you're kind of excusing the Xbox side by saying this is the reason. That shouldn't be a reason. Like you shouldn't like to start all of this dumb arsery. Like you shouldn't give a shit what PlayStation fans think. You should just be happy you're getting good fucking games. But no, you gotta
for years and years.
But it doesn't matter. You're making an excuse.
I'm explaining them. I'm not making an excuse. I'm explaining the logic and why they are behaving that way.
So you basically turn around saying all these Xbox people feel really goddamn small, so they're using these as validation because that's what it's sounding like, and that's sad.
Yes, a lot of them are, and that's what I'm saying.
And that's sad.
As validation because they had to go years of having to deal with.
So basically, they've become.
They stuck to a platform that was not doing well, and now that it's doing well, they are using those scores to be like, "Oh, we have these scores now."
So in essence, they became what they hate.
But as far as how Xbox does business and the fan base, like when it comes to actually playing games, they don't really pay attention to the Metacritic scores when they buy. Like you said, Halo 5 didn't review well. They still bought the game and they still support.
Okay, now there is a big difference there because during the Xbox One life cycle, that's all they could buy. As far as first party exclusives.
They could have just bought Call of Duty and let Halo die.
As a first party though. Like if we're talking first parties, that's all they had.
It's a big difference. Let it die.
Big difference.
They could have let it die.
But they can't. Again, it's that tribalistic mentality. We need to lick this beached whale with our tongues to keep it hydrated so it doesn't die.
Xbox was my main console. I didn't buy no damn Halo 5. They didn't have to. I did. So, I bought Forza. Bought Forza 7. Horizon 3.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, I don't know. I just still.
I can't believe
It feels to me this conversation. Because, like, I don't know, having too much power means it doesn't mean anything to me. And outside of like Twitter arguments, like I don't think this score. I certainly hope not. And if it does, then really, we need to look at Sony and like, what are you doing?
Zero. What
but
you need
if
to understand.
Sony wants to make.
What you need to understand is the people who use this shit on Twitter, their penises are incredibly small. They need to feel like
it does matter for Sony because
they need to feel like they're adequate in some ways.
I'm saying it's worrying that it matters to Sony. It's worrying that like they will not take the game that is just okay, that sells well, and if Horizon, like again, we're players you just told me Horizon is the third. I say Horizon's the third place PlayStation game, which means it should sit below Last of Us and God of War, which is only going to put it up the 3 points. If Sony decides we are done with Horizon over 3 points on a Medic score, Sony really needs to reevaluate its policies and how it's approaching these video games.
In the case of Horizon, I don't think it's going to have that type of impact because I feel like her name escapes me right now, but I feel like the Horizon character, Aloy,
Aloy.
Aloy. I feel like she has established herself as like her face as part of the PlayStation brand right now. So I don't think she's going anywhere for a good amount of time. Like I feel like her face is synonymous with the PlayStation brand at the moment. And,
right. So then I wonder, like,
culture is. I think she's not going anywhere.
You know, then is like outside of very annoying Twitter beefs. The answer to my answer to that question, this question is no. Metacritic is not too powerful because it shouldn't be up for an overall score view to affect the future of a game, particularly if it's just somewhere in the middle. Like I get if it's goddamn 40 and like nobody seems to like it, obviously that's saying something.
But that's rare these days.
It's super rare. It is very rare that a game will just be like
a bomb on both sides.
Incredibly bad. Yeah, just incredibly bad. Like you have to.
Those opinions exist. No one just wants to be blacklisted. So the lowest you'll probably get is like a 60.
I mean, it's like somebody's gonna be like, "This game sucks."
I'm gonna fucking look that up, Farrell. You know I'm gonna fact.
No, I'm talking about Metacritic wise.
No, I'm looking. I'm gonna look.
Like there are people out there.
I can't think of like any big game that got like a 50. That was bad. I doubt Anthem got a 50.
Oh, okay.
I mean, to be fair, I'm
50.
looking at Days Gone. Somebody gave Days Gone a 30.
He's talking about overall. He's talking about overall.
I don't know.
Necromunda Hired Gun, and that was a major release before you even said that got a 49.
I say, what the hell? What the hell
year?
Is that game?
What year?
Last year, just last year.
Okay.
Demon Skin, that's a PC exclusive. Okay, give me a second. I'm just looking through some of the worst review games. That's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. GTA. Grand Theft Auto. The trilogy, the defective edition. At least the Switch port got a 47.
That's fair.
Okay.
Let me see.
I mean, it's on Switch. What do you expect?
Busted.
I mean,
I don't know what they wanted from that one, but that's fair. Yeah.
Werewolf the Apocalypse, Earthblood. That was also a major release. Got a 42.
And you know what? That's a perfect example because everything I hear about that game is how terrible it is, but like I have to play it. That's the only thing I ever hear about that
damn werewolf game.
So many people bought that damn werewolf game because how terrible it is.
It didn't have any marketing. People just saw it in the damn store and was like,
it did actually get some marketing because I see the marketing.
I all I know about that game is it's so bad, but like everybody has played it.
Which game?
The werewolf game.
Werewolf Bloodland.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, right now, worst because the worst game last year was to be fair, I've never heard of this. Was eFootball 2022. That got
Konami's joint.
Yeah, that got a 25 on Metacritic.
That one, because that was I think basically almost an unplayable mess.
Fuck, I love that Cyberpunk didn't even come close to ranking any of that.
Yeah, and I don't know, it feels like we got to get to the point, particularly from Metacritic. It's funny, people never go to Metacritic for movies, even though they review movies as well. They do Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know. FC does because he's been plastering that fucking Uncharted Metacritic score all day.
Rotten Tomatoes exists.
Yeah, but Rotten Tomatoes.
I said Metacritic does movies.
Movies suck.
Rotten Tomatoes. So it's like Rotten Tomatoes falls into the same goddamn problem for me that, because this is the problem with Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes. They run on averages. So people are taking the average. They're not looking at, like, individuals to see, like, what they're actually saying. They just see the number and that's it.
But the thing is, at least from the movie side, they'll still sell. Like, people will still go to see them. Uncharted probably sucks. A lot of people are still going to go see them. I sort of really pray today we get there in video games, dog. Where, like
nobody's out here like, yo, don't go see that trash because Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 33%. That's exactly in conversations.
It never happens.
It happens in games, though. It absolutely does.
Yeah, it never happens, bro. Like, I'll tell you it's trash and I'll still want to go see it.
Yeah, no, not me. I'm completely different. You tell me a movie's trash, like, I already know it's going to be trash, like Resident Evil.
How much does a movie ticket cost? Because I've not.
There's also another difference. It costs like less than 10.
You go see this damn Uncharted movie just because it's fucking Uncharted.
No. There's also the difference in price.
I mean, they're cheaper, absolutely, but really bad games
like $13, to be honest.
Really bad games will down in price so quickly, though.
All right, so it looks like in total, this movie has
49, I believe.
Yeah, it's done a 21.5 million so far.
Yeah, it's not doing well at all.
So
which
no
again,
more Uncharted movies,
I would just like to point out: make your movies for the fans. Give the game fans what they want. They will pay for it. They will pay double for it because they will go and watch it on their own or with friends, and then they will drag even more friends to come and see it to show how awesome it is. So you're doubling the price.
The only reason why I won't see it is because I don't want to see Tom Holland in a fucking Uncharted movie. Like, that turned me off. I'm seeing the trailer with him in it. I'm just like, I can't do it. I cannot do it.
I would just like to. It doesn't make sense. From the year 2022, by the way, just because we're going on that Metacritic fucking bullshit. Again, going with it's very rare that a game is lambasted and on both sides. Number 2 for 2020 was the 13 remake, which got a 32. I wouldn't even give it a 32. I'd give it less. I would give it that.
What did 15 get?
What?
What did Final Fantasy 15 get?
Final Fantasy 15.
The game
65. I mean, it was a good game up until the very end when
when half of it was fucking missing.
Yeah, when it ran out of time and
budget. There's like, hey, time skip. And then didn't explain shit.
Okay, Metacritic is having a hard time, but the PC version, which here's the thing with the PC version, a number of its points I know came from how fucking amazing that port was. Like the Final Fantasy 15 PC port was French kiss, fucking glorious. It got an 85 and an 8 overall by fans.
Yeah,
but that's purely.
I don't like those fans.
But no, it's also when we got the version, it came with all the DLC and shit. So like we got the whole experience while y'all motherfuckers just suffered because PC gamers are patient.
We still has gotten the whole experience.
No, we got the whole experience as it. We got the whole experience as it released.
The whole experience.
You got 75% of that experience.
Like you have to get the movie that's the prequel. You got to watch Brotherhood, and then you got to read the book to like figure out the whole damn
See,
story.
I'm curious. What do you think was the worst incomplete mess? Like Final Fantasy 15 or Metal Gear Solid 5?
For me, it's Xenogears. Me personally.
Xenogears was the most unfinished mess?
Yes, the second disc, you just read what happened.
Oh, okay.
And you just read what happened and fought the boss fights.
Fair enough.
You didn't play through it.
So does anybody?
I never played Metal Gear, so I'm gonna choose Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Has
anybody else got anything they want to talk about as far as Metacritic scores and basically expose yourself as hypocrites when people later look at your Twitter feeds?
Yeah. Actually, stop crying about damn scores. You didn't put the score up.
Stop retweeting that shit as well.
You'll never see me hyping scores.
Like,
also,
it's cool, but
don't
half of. Go ahead.
No, finish your thought, Julia.
No, I'm just saying, like, half of these people, like these air quote journalists, don't be playing these damn games anyway. You're not gonna if you don't. I mean, it's somebody else's opinion. You got to take that as for what it is. It's a tool. It's nothing more. You people treat this as if it's like the be all end all. It's a tool in making a purchase decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, somebody's opinion could be skewed. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they just didn't like a certain part of the game, and that just affects the entire score of the whole shit. Like, there's so many layers to this, and relying on another person to try to figure that out is dumb. It's like, if you use it as a tool, like, okay, here's a baseline. Okay, I mean, if it's not, obviously if it's not a 40, it's not terrible. So, I mean, it being an 89 is not discounted as a great game. It's still a great game. Just because it scored the same as the previous one doesn't mean nothing was improved upon or nothing was changed. I mean, because scores change.
What
I don't think Ocarina of Time would get a fucking 10 today. I don't think it would. I don't think it would hold up.
I don't think it is a 10. I think it's more like an 8. I think Majora's Mask is a 9.
At the time, it was a 10.
Oh yeah,
so,
obviously at the time.
like I said, even something as the passage of time will absolutely change how games are looked at.
I also fucking
hate. And that goes for everything.
Can anybody point to me the moment in time when 90 became the fucking average score? Like when 80,
no,
when 50 was when someone scored something like a 5 out of 10, it was an average game. When did scoring something an 80 or an 8 out of 10 become an average game? When did that happen?
Let me add to that.
Exactly.
Can anyone point to me when Metacritic was a thing to begin with?
No, this happened. This happened before Metacritic.
It's the.
I don't remember. I don't even through the 360 era. I don't even remember like scores being brought up like that. Like when I was playing during the 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, Xbox, Dreamcast, I just don't remember like scores being necessarily that big of a deal. Like I just
like when Game Informer was
a fact until Xbox One, PS4.
Like when Game Informer was giving out like 7.5, it still said it's good. It didn't say average. It said it's good.
But back in the day, reviews were more fair back in the day.
It was more at the end.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was at. Hold on. I wouldn't say it was at the PlayStation 4. It happened like halfway through the PlayStation 3 360 era. Like that's.
Let me ask
that's
this then. Is it maybe the result of the amount of games that were a 7 or a 6?
No.
And they will become disappointing to the point where we start. Because look, we had terrible video games that scored either high or low, and you play them and you're like, okay, this absolutely doesn't reflect that. But again, I played these games and I enjoyed them. And most of these games, when I look at Metacritic, you're a 6? I love that game. How the fuck is this game a 6?
Back in the day when they did reviews, a lot of reviews weren't as opinion based as they are now. Like they would have sections like graphics would be rated on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, and then controls would be rated on, and then it would just go down a list of they would rate these aspects, and then they would get to like the story, and then they would give that a rating. So then like the story could have like a 5 out of 5, but graphics could be a 3 out of 5. like controls could be like a 2 out of 5, and then that would affect the overall score of the game. So the game might be a 60 based off of they didn't like the graphics or how the gameplay mechanics actually work. So it was just different back in the day versus nowadays. When they give a review, they just kind of just throw their opinion out there without actually giving you like, hey, this is a score for this part, this is a score for that part, this is a score for that part. It used to be different.
I'd also add, it's we live in the information age. You can find probably a direct parallel to when scores started to matter, when we started to learn more about video games as a whole. When we were younger, the most, unless you were part of that industry space, the most you're going to get is from a Game Informer about what's happening in this thing. I can now directly talk to a developer. Like, I can straight up tweet it. I've tweeted at the Hades developer how excellent it was, and they retweeted back at me. Like, I can talk to them. I can, like, meet them, go into their entire space. So now the entire world is coming up. So before, when Ocarina of Time is just a perfect 10, and the only thing we cared about was perfect 10s. Everything else was just a game. And a lot of games didn't get reviewed.
Time had a perfect 10 until Jubei just said it, because I didn't care about scores.
It was the only game I'd ever heard of getting one.
Didn't even know.
And like that, and that's part of Ocarina of Time's legacy. It is one of the rare, quote unquote, perfect 10 games to ever exist. In all of gaming history. But you're right, bro. Like, I don't know what Xenogears got rated. I don't know if Final Fantasy 7 got rated. I don't know what Star Ocean got rated. Buster Groove, Grand Theft Auto, Ready to Rumble Boxing, Power Stone. I don't know. I don't care. None of it matters. But the more we grew up and started getting into this space and this industry, the more these things started to come out, and people now it becomes more granular. So a 10 now is like 100. Because you just can't have 1 through 10. Now it's got to be 1 through 100, because it might not be a perfect 10, but it's not really like a 9, but maybe like a 9.5. And it's just like, well, what are all these things? And so someone, Metacritic or anybody else, decided to aggregate everyone that was saying stuff. Because also, there were people other than Game Informer putting out reviews. We just didn't know who they were.
Is anybody interested in what the top rated Metacritic games of all time are? Some of them are surprising. I'll admit, some of these are fucking surprising.
It must have dropped recently, but there was a Switch game, The House in Fate Morgana, which was like 100 for a very long time, and then it went away. I think it's like a 90 something.
Yeah, because I mean, even Ocarina of Time isn't a perfect score. It's only a 99.
Yes, they've adjusted it because they said how could a game be perfect? And Ocarina of Time is anything but perfect.
You want to know what's directly? This is what's shocking to me. Again, I'm just for brevity, I'm going to name these out because it's really fucking. It's interesting to see like where everything is these days, just to kind of show you. So Ocarina of Time is number 1. Like, this is the game releases by user score, on all platforms, all time. I don't know if there is one for critic scores. I'll need to double check. Oh, perfect.
There is. You can switch it between Metacritic and user score. There is.
Oh, by Metacritic. Yeah, there it is. By Metascore. Yeah, there, I've got it. Right. So number 1 is Ocarina of Time with a 99. Number 2 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 with a 98.
I mean, that game is perfect. That game was perfect. Yeah, that honestly, they should switch them out.
Number
Tony Hawk might be the perfect 100 game.
Number 3 is GTA 4.
You know what made Tony Hawk so perfect? The soundtrack.
Oh,
the soundtrack meshed great with
Yeah.
the gameplay.
Here's the thing.
GTA 4?
Yeah, that's free. And that's the PS3 version, which I will fucking argue is not the better version.
San Andreas
the PS3 version was way better than the PS3 version.
The fucking PC version is better than the PS4 version.
And the PC version.
Fucking Soul Calibur is number 4 with an 89.
I'll put the first. I will absolutely put the first Soul Calibur up there. Absolutely.
Then we've got this. See, this is also the other problem. This is the other problem I don't like. Metacritic doesn't review games as a whole. They review them by platform. Which that's fine. That's fine. But you should add that as a whole review. Like, okay, you might. This is the game at its pinnacle. It shouldn't be detracted by the hardware it's being played on not being able to handle the game. So add an addendum to each review. So like GTA 4 as a whole, it has got one review. It's scored as one game, and then underneath or somewhere in there, you talk about the shortcomings of individual versions. Like the PlayStation 3 version has slower frame rate and bad texture popping. The Xbox 360 version has way longer loading times. You get what I mean? That's how it should be done.
Or because they're an aggregate site, just do, if we put all four into the equation, just do all four. You do PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and then you have an aggregate of all of that.
Here's the other thing that skews those results, because they all don't get equal review numbers.
Yeah,
the same amount of people are not reviewing on each platform, and that's why they can't do it that way. If you had guaranteed 100 reviews per platform, you could do it that way.
Then they should whittle down the reviews. Anyway, that's impossible.
They should.
So number 6.
But yeah, exactly. But they can't.
Number 6, Mario Galaxy with a 97.
97.
Solid.
Galaxy 2 takes 7th place as well with a 97. Red Dead Redemption takes 8th place with 97, 8th place. GTA 5, Xbox One, the peak fucking S3 version is right underneath the Xbox One version, and they're both at 97.
As far as I'm concerned, that should put it above GTA 4.
Disco Elysium takes 11 with 97 as well. GTA 5 again, the 360 version takes 97. The Dreamcast version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 takes 13th place with 97. Breath of the Wild Switch version takes a 97 at 14. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is in 15th place with a 97. Perfect Dark, the original N64 version, takes 16th place with a 97. Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PlayStation 4 takes 17th place with a 97. GTA 5 on PlayStation 4 takes 18th place with a 97. Metroid Prime takes 19 a 97. GTA 3 takes 20th place with a 97. A lot of 97s I'm noticing.
I would say
there's a lot of games in the 90s. Yo, you're going to be here for a while because fucking God of War is number 7.
Let's hold on.
You're going to be going through.
But yeah, we got Mario Odyssey, Halo Combat Evolved, NFL 2K1, Half-Life 2, GTA 5 for the PC, which is somehow 96 despite being the definitive fucking version of it, and that is below. That's somehow below the fucking PS3 and 360 version. How?
Number of reviews, sir.
That's stupid.
Yeah, they just didn't have enough.
Breath of the Wild, again. Bioshock, GoldenEye 007, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, Resident Evil 4, The Orange Box, which again makes no sense because that's 3 games in one.
Number of reviews.
No. What I'm talking about is like I'm talking about the Orange Box itself. Like that got reviewed, like the whole thing itself, but it's 3 games in one.
But as a package, that's solid. Half-Life 2 alone is worth the price.
Half-Life 2 got a higher review than this.
I know.
Arkham City, Tekken 3, Mass Effect 2, The House of Fata Morgana. Right there.
That's the one.
96.
Yeah, that's the one. House of Fate Morgana.
Twilight Princess, Skyrim, Half-Life, Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation 2. Wind Waker for the original the original GameCube, Gran Turismo, that would make Kofi happy. Bioshock for PC, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, the Grand Theft Auto double pack. Why? Because that makes no sense. Baldur's Gate 2, San Andreas, Vice City, Little Big Planet, Tetris Effect, the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. This is incredibly rare, by the way, and I actually own one of them. This could fetch you like $500, I believe, with how rare it is.
There's 8 reviews for that collector's edition for The Legend of Zelda. That's crazy.
You see what I mean? Red Dead Redemption, Gran Turismo 3, Halo 2, A Link to the Past, Majora's Mask. That deserves to be way fucking higher, in my opinion. The Last of Us, Twilight Princess for the Wii, Madden NFL 2000. My fucking Persona 5 Royal. Sorry, I'm very happy. Yeah, Last of Us. My God, it just keeps going. Why is okay? I like the game, really do. I do like the game. Why is it a 95? It's not even a finished game.
I don't know. Why does it matter?
I'm fucking happy.
Like I said, this list is all.
Oh yeah, I know.
Subjective.
I know. It's all subjective, but I will turn around and say I'm glad.
The only absolute on this list is Ocarina of Time.
Yes,
that's it.
Yes, the only absolute. But here's the thing: I don't let them influence me.
Absolute is GTA 5.
Here's the thing: I'm not letting it influence me, but it does make me happy. It does actually make me happy. Being a fan of the franchise, that Devil May Cry is in the top 100 best games of all time according to Metacritic. Because the original Devil May Cry gets slept on. Like the original Devil May Cry predates God of War. Like if God of War is the daddy of all, you know how we call Doom the daddy of first person shooters and Wolfenstein the grandfather of all first person shooters? In my opinion, God of War is the daddy of modern hack and slash games. Devil May Cry, in my opinion, was the grandfather of the modern day hack and slash game. And
the MT came before God of War, right?
Yeah, it did. And that's why I'm saying it gets slept on for its importance to modern day hack and slash games. So I'm glad to see it get some fucking recognition there. I
5 came out not so long ago, and it did well.
Hey, you got another Xbox game here. Gears of War is 87. Well done, Xbox. I'm only going to the top 100, so don't worry about it. Oh, wow. Metal Gear Solid just barely fucking squeaks into the top 100 at 99. And then Grim Fandango at 100. There you go. There's the top 100 games of all fucking time. Enjoy debating that, you fucking sheep, you. You fucking sheep.
Was Soul Calibur the only fighting game on that list at a 90?
Fuck me.
In the top 100?
Have I really got a fucking...
No, Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 is on the list, just not as high as Soul Calibur.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't. Hold on, let me double check.
It is.
Dang.
Street Fighter 4 is like in the 50s or 40s.
Alright, give me a sec.
Street Fighter 2 should be in that damn list. Street Fighter 2 is fine.
Street Fighter 2 should definitely be in that
No,
list.
not Street... In my opinion, not Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Or Turbo.
That should be the one that got that. But I love how we're debating this and we were just bragging on Metacritic scores. No, it wasn't. Tekken 3 was at 34. So that's 2. 1 second.
No Power Stone?
No Power Stone.
Goddamn masterpiece.
Well, no one cares about the Dreamcast games. Is there a Dreamcast game that made the list?
Yes, there is actually. Soul Calibur.
Oh yeah, Soul Calibur was the only one. Yeah.
No, it wasn't the only one. There was another. There's other Dreamcast games on here. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 Dreamcast game got on here.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So did NFL 2K1.
Street Fighter 4 is number 96.
Yeah, so that's free. So that's free. That's free fighting games.
2K1, what 2K was on there? NFL 2K?
NFL 2K1 was on there. Good. That's another Dreamcast game.
2K1 was fire.
Yeah, 2K1 was the greatest football game.
That was the first one that had it's the first game I remember having real dynamic weather where it would rain in the middle of a game or start snowing in the middle of a game.
But here's the thing. We could arguably turn around and here's the problem, and this goes back to my whole point about scores being subjective. There is debates we could have on why certain games, because it all comes down to personal preference, which is my whole point. Why certain games don't deserve to be as high as they are or should be higher. Like, for me, The Last of Us Remastered, for as unnecessary as people turn around and say that remaster deserves to be higher than the original. Purely on the fact, 60 frames per second. It allows aiming to be a lot goddamn better.
I just
But again, it's all fucking subjective. I don't believe Final Fantasy. For some reason, Final Fantasy is that Final Fantasy 6? IX. No, that's
No,
not.
it's 9.
That's 9. That's Final Fantasy 9. Yeah, Final Fantasy 9
is amazing.
Hold on, but here's the thing. Somehow Final Fantasy 9 is in the top 100, but Final Fantasy 7 isn't anywhere in the top 100.
Because like I was saying, back in the days, like when we were younger and they reviewed games more technically than opinion based. So like,
man,
it probably got knocked for things like
big up to Halo. I would just like to point out, y'all
because Final Fantasy 7 in 1997 is a 92. It ain't gonna make the top 100. There's so many fucking 90s.
Here's the thing. I'd just like to also point out, anybody. Oh, by the way, Jet Set Radio for the Dreamcast was also on here. So yes, that's multiple Dreamcast games. So fuck you, turn around and say no one cares about the Dreamcast. Anyway, big ups to Halo, because I just clocked onto this, and this is something that Halo that Xbox can hold over the PlayStation's head in your little retarded fucking war. Xbox is the only series to actually have 3 consistent free games in the same series in the top 100.
I mean, they're the only ones who make a fairly competent shooter for like a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Halo 1, 2, and 3 are in the top 100 on Metacritic. They're the only ones that have a trilogy in the top 100. They're the only one.
Uncharted.
No, Uncharted isn't in the top 100.
No, I'm not saying it's not in there. I said it could have been in there.
Close.
The first one didn't suck.
But yeah, as far as like a trilogy of games, Halo is the only one to actually be on here. God of War isn't on here in the top 100. Mass Effect isn't. Gears of War isn't. BioShock isn't. Like, none of them are. Only Halo has 3 consecutive games in the top 100. So you can actually hold that over PlayStation's head and they can't argue.
So is Last of Us and Last of Us 2 in the top?
Nope, Last of Us 2 is not in the top 100.
Nope.
No, yeah, it did.
93.
They might try to force
The top
that Last
100
of Us
top
3
94,
out,
bro.
But then it wouldn't. But here's the thing: it wouldn't be a trilogy because, like I've just said, that's a trilogy. You have Halo 1, 2, and 3 in the top 100. No other game in here has a trilogy of games in the top 100. Not even Mario Galaxy is in the top 100.
Neither God of War?
God of War doesn't have
Galaxy 1 and 2 are.
God of War is
God of Wars weren't. They were good, but they weren't.
They sold.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter about selling, motherfucker. It isn't in the top 100. None of the God of Wars are in the top 100 on Metacritic.
Yeah, and I'm sure the newest one is the highest rated God of War.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I apologize. They do have one. Yes, the brand new the God of War 2018 is in the top 100 at a 73rd.
Like,
an Uncharted.
PlayStation 2 God of War
Uncharted
wasn't
2.
like it wasn't hitting like that. Like it was good, but like it wasn't.
Because my favorite one was Ascension, and I know Ascension
That's the least favorite.
didn't necessarily rate well, but I love that
God, no. My favorite one is 3.
I actually like Ascension for its character building of Kratos. Because this is before Berserker Kratos.
Yep.
But yeah, like again, like I said, we could spend all our time because like on the next page, immediately top 1 there is Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and I think that deserves to be in the top 100 video games of all time. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is fucking amazing, and anybody who says otherwise, I will fight one-on-one in the street. You will not win.
Trash.
It would have if they didn't have multiple entries for like Grand Theft Auto and things like that. Would have been there.
Oh yeah, it would have been in there, but they had multiple fucking entries.
Crazy trash.
I will fucking fight you, bitch. I will put you down. Okay. Let me just hurt his ego a little. Your boy Hades. Your boy Hades is under The Last of Us Part 2, Gran Turismo, Company of Heroes, Super Smash Brawl, Burnout 3 Takedown, The Witcher 3, Super Mario 64, Virtual Fighter 4, Madden NFL 2004, Sid Meier's Civilization 4, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, God of War, NCAA Football 2004, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, Diablo, Burnout 3 Takedown, Resident Evil, Code Veronica, and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. So, fuck you. I just wanted to rub that, I just wanted to stir that pot with Zero. Fuck Hades.
I mean, none of them have won a Hugo Award, so it's mute. It's a move.
That's very true. Very true.
That's very true. That means way more than the fucking Metacritic. That means way more than Metacritic. And you want to know what else means a lot more than Metacritic? Our outros. So let's.
I was about to say these outros.
These outros. So Jubei, tell the people where can they find you?
Yep, you can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms. Jubei Sensei on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm not Twitter. YouTube.
Yeah, he's on Twitter.
Come catch me on Master Duel, yo. I'll beat you turn 1.
You trash.
Come get me.
You trash.
Come see me.
You trash.
Nope.
You trash. Alright, Pharaoh, where can people find you?
Since this damn game came out. First 2 days.
You can find me on Twitch at Land of Pharaoh. You can find me on Twitter at Pharaoh Bizarre, Facebook Pharaoh Bizarre, YouTube Pharaoh Bizarre.
Alright, cool. Nothing but bizarre. Omar, where can people find you?
People can find me at Carver_job on Twitter and GameSlayer every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Alright, cool. You can find me at Dante Crisis on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The Dante Crisis on Facebook, and you can find Dante Crisis on YouTube, Twitch, and DLive. I live stream every weekday and special weekend live streams for my Patreons. Currently doing Shin Megami Tensei 5, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I think I can give it away right now. I'm starting Dragon Age 2 on Thursday. Should be starting it this weekend. Currently doing a Let's Play of The Medium and Devil May Cry 4. Zero, where can people find you? But more importantly, where can people find us?
Guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. You can, of course, find me at 0x386 pretty much everywhere. I will be mostly playing Sifu, so find me there. But most more importantly, you can find us on all major podcasting platforms. Did they get rid of Joe Rogan? He's still on Spotify?
He's still on Spotify.
Okay, then yeah, we're basically number 2 under the Joe Rogan podcast. So once he gets out of there, we'll be number 1. So like we should be super easy to find. So just check us out there. Obviously, we appreciate all of you guys for listening. You literally could be doing anything else, like in a Spaces, arguing about Metacritic scores, but you decided to not do that. It's smart play and to join us instead and listen to us rant about Metacritic scores, which is so much better personally, I think. But appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And as always, appreciate you again. I said that twice.
Yes, you did, because we appreciate you so much. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, keep it gaming. Okay, we out of here. Peace.
Later.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside.